Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aydin Show. The word Aydin means enlighten, and that is exactly our goal. We are here to enlighten you, share knowledge and wisdom, and inspire our youth. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm Ahmet Oruch, and today we have Levent Yilmaz here. How are you, Levy?
Alaikum salam. Well, and you?
Very good, brother. We have a very exciting list of guests that are coming on today. A few to mention, guys, is Baris Nezif. He's going to come on. He's going to explain to us what happened exactly at Bunnings warehouse in craigieburn. There was a bit of incident there. We've also got Ihsan, the health coach. He's going to come on, advise us a little bit about our health and what we can do indoors. We've also got Adam Akbulut, that is a lawyer. We're going to talk about, why he got into law and have a bit of a discussion about things residing in that. Also, we've got a brother called Saeed from Melbourne. He is also going to be joining us, inshallah. Guys, if you can hear us well, let us know. I've got Jihad Yilmaz that's saying what a track. Thank you very much for that song. Just give us a thumbs up if you can hear us well. Feels like there is a little bit of clutter. We're trying to get things to work 100%. Just before we make our phone call, want to make sure that everything's good. Volume's good. Okay. It's okay. All right. So here we go, guys. Our first caller, Baris Nezif. We'll get on to him. I hope everyone's well. Hello, Barishabi. Hello. Barishabi, can you hear us?
Is he on there?
Nah.
No?
Must have cut out. It's okay. We'll give him another call in a minute. Yeah, so as I mentioned, we've got a fair bit of things that we're going to be going through. A really cool night we have ahead of us. We've got some really nice music, as you guys heard the first intro. Some nice songs that we're going to be putting on. Levy, how's your day been today, man? Tell us what's happening.
Yeah, definitely. It's been pretty busy today. So like I said, we're just chasing up the contracts and all that stuff from our clients and the quotes as well. So it's been pretty busy and doing some assessment tasks on the course that I'm trying to finish off as well. So
what course is that? Let us know a little bit
just
about
with HIA at the moment. So I'm just trying to finish off the cert for then. Obviously, we're also doing this diploma too. So it's been pretty tough sort of juggle everything around. So been pretty busy.
All right, so you decided to go with HIA. Why did you decide to go with them? Why not Master
To be
Builders?
honest, I've tried the other ones as well, and I think the most reputable and professional sort of way HIA has been the best to be selected on, and I think I recommend it to all who wants to do their building construction course as well. So it's very detailed in their online course as well. So I highly recommend it. It's pretty good, yeah.
Look, I've done mine with Builders Academy. So I guess HIA is a very professional company. I suggest the majority of people that want to go get their builder's license or DBLs that are in construction that, you need your DBL now, especially for framing. I do recommend going through HIA. But however, if you want to get your builder's license or if you want to get, your diploma or your Cert 3 in building and construction, there is somebody I know by the name of Tayfun. He works at Builders Academy and he's very professional and also helps. He's there with you all the way, so that makes it just a lot more. I guess it just becomes a little bit more easier when you've got someone that you can call, get in contact with, someone that you can be friends with, and just it's a class, it's over, bad luck. That helped me out a lot, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
So what are you trying to get out of this? When you I guess once you
look, as you know, I've been in the business for a while now. So like for me, it's just just just finishing off and just getting their license, but I'm also moving towards the commercial side of things. So definitely once that's done, I'm going to be going for commercial licensing. So our call is coming in.
Yeah, here we go. Baris Nezif, how are you, brother?
Yeah, good, bro.
That's good, brother. Can you hear us nice and clear?
How are you? Yeah, how do I do this?
So you just stay on the phone.
Start talking.
Listen to us, exactly, man. Listen to us and have a bit of a chat. I mean, you'll know you're pretty famous, man. You were on Free AW not too long ago.
Famous, you reckon? I don't need that sort of fame.
Yeah. Incident happened at Bunnings, brother. With an incident happened at Bunnings. So from what we've watched with your recording with 3AW, did the security guard put his hand on you? Like, what exactly happened?
Yeah, look, without getting too much in depth, I'm exempt to wearing a face mask. And I just walked into Bunnings, and the lady at the front, goes, "You can't come in without a face mask." I said, "Well, I've got my reasons." I just walked in. She didn't follow me, didn't make a fuss, so I just kept walking, and pretty much the security guard followed me around. One came in front of me and said, "You're not allowed in the store. You haven't got a face mask." And he goes, "Can you please leave?" I go, "Mate, I've got an exemption, so I don't need to wear a face mask." He goes, "No, we can't have you in the store." And I go, "Well, I'm not going anywhere." And he put his arm out,
okay,
like across my chest.
What? So he put what you mean? He pulled his arm out, and what did he touch you with his hand, or?
Yeah, pretty much lightly, but he put his arm out and he touched me, and he was like, "You need to get out." And I was like, I lost it. I smashed his arm. I go, "Don't touch me," and that's how it all started.
But
you know what I mean? And
yeah, you've been doing security for a very long time.
That's right. Yeah.
Are security guards allowed to do that? Are they allowed to touch you?
Not at all. Not like that. Not in that instance. His job is to tell me, "All right, you're not allowed in the store. You need to leave." If I refuse to leave, call the police. That's his job. He cannot lay a finger on me. He can't use force to remove me from the premises or any of the staff.
Definitely.
So by him laying a hand on me, that's where it started getting ugly. And on top of that, and I was ignoring them. They were following me around, sort of like egging me on. And they were really getting under my skin. And another bystander came past and saw that they wouldn't leave me alone. It was that obvious that he ripped off his face mask and started having a go at these guards.
Okay,
And
so you even had a couple of people join in.
Yeah. So and I was the first one to call the police on them.
Okay.
I'll call 000 and I go, "Look, I've got guards at Bunnings here harassing me. One touched me.
Yeah.
They won't leave me alone. Because I'm not wearing a face mask. I've got exemption," and I called police.
So it was actually you that called the police officers down.
That's right, and then they did as well.
Yeah.
But my call went through first.
Okay.
And it defeated the whole purpose. So the manager came up to me and goes, "Well, mate, you're not going to get served." I go, "That's fine. When I go to the counter, I'm going to get what I'm going to get. When I go to the counter, if I don't get served, I'll walk out." I got what I wanted to get, went to the counter, I got served, and I walked out with my receipt. So they defeated the whole purpose. What was the point of all that?
Definitely. But Ashabi, what do you think's happening with this whole COVID thing, man? Do you reckon it's really making situations very unstable, like what you've just had at Bunnings, not wearing a face mask? Do you think it's a stupid thing?
Well, I definitely think it's a stupid thing. It's I reckon it's dividing people. Dividing people in the sense where, look, I don't criticise. Yeah, I mean, I'm against the face mask because I'm a fit, healthy person. I don't need to wear a face mask. Me wearing a face mask is detrimental to my health. It can make me sick. So wearing those things all day or even over an hour, those things carry germs.
Yeah.
And some people wear them all day. So
and we also have a lot of health professionals kind of jump in and say, breathing is very important. Taking that fresh air into your lungs and focusing on your breath, to keep you away from depression and anxiety, from anger.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is this government doing to us? Making us depressed by suffocating us, healthy people, locking us in our homes, You know, well, we can only go out an hour a day. You know, it just really gets to me. It's a load of crap. You know what I mean? You know, our kids have to be locked up. We can't even go outside. I heard something today on the radio saying that people are suffering from vitamin D deficiency because they can't go out.
Yeah.
You know, what is this? It's a joke. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. But Ashabi, we all know that you're a world-time champion kickboxer. Look, can you let maybe some of the youth know, you know, why it's so important to get into sports and what it's done for you with your health and your life and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, well, look, definitely, especially the time we're at now. Look, you know, I'm lucky. You know, I train. You know, it's all about routine. We're pretty much locked up in this state. You know, this is where, you know, we all got to be mentally strong. Yeah. You know, and get the positives out of this. You know what I mean? I've got a lot of non-Muslim friends as well. This is a chance for us to get really connected with our faith. You know, for our Muslim brothers and sisters that didn't practice as often. You're home. You know, start praying 5 times a day. Start getting connected with Allah. You know, start getting connected with God, our non-Muslim friends. You know what I mean?
That's so true. Yeah, exactly. Instead of looking at it as a negative, you can't go to the mosques. You know, you can't be in great. Yeah, you can't.
You know, don't be like that. People don't be like these people. Now I'm seeing it on the news. These commercials popping up about people getting addicted to alcohol now. Is the bottle a necessity? Why are they still open? Why are people getting drunk? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's what a complete joke. You know, that really frustrates me.
Yeah, the more I see Dan Andrews come out and, you know, not answer questions and just keep going around circles about the exact same thing of how we need to stay home, follow the rules, and it really does it does frustrate you, doesn't it? Because you know that he's doing the wrong thing, especially by having these bottle-os open. It's affecting a lot of families. It's my
question to you: are bottle-os a necessity? Simple question.
No, they're not.
It's not.
There's nothing. Exactly. There's nothing but poison in those drinks.
Why are they open for them? Why are they open for them?
Yeah.
That's the question Dan Andrews should be asked.
He should have been saying,
open?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Then you're spending money putting commercials on for people to don't make it a habit. Well, it wouldn't be a habit if you haven't got bottle-os open. You know.
Good point. Very good point. So, with the message to the youth, with kickboxing, again, you know, what has it done for you, like personally, in terms of health? Like, you're in your 40s now, is that right?
I'm 45 now. Yeah, 45.
Yeah. How do you feel for a 45-year-old?
Now, look, honestly, when I'm training, and I kid you not, I don't have to go, and I don't have to go flat stick 100%. Even when I'm training 50%, I honestly feel 20 years old. But if I don't train and I get into that slump and get out of my routine, I feel older than 45. You know, so routine is such important for our for us mentally. Routine in training, being active. Routine in keeping faith, our prayers.
Yeah,
it's all about routine. Routine in the way we eat. You know, you got to stay in some sort of routine to be mentally healthy. Even though we're locked down as well.
Yeah.
Oh, you can get out for an hour a day. Make the most of that hour. Hey, I shouldn't be saying get out for 2 hours a day. You know what I mean? What's going to happen? A police officer's going to pull you up. I've just been out for 15 minutes, mate.
Well, it's pretty scary about a show because we saw a video of a girl not wearing a mask and the way she got assaulted by a police officer. The way she got thrown down on the floor.
That got me so angry. And you're seeing it on the news today. I'm watching the news and she's getting charged for assault.
Absolutely absurd.
You know, and what's happening to that police officer with that sort of excessive force for not wearing a mask?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I want to touch base about as well. Like even you're doing security course back in the day, they're obviously talking about the excessive force, you know, and that's they need to implement that. Like they're just taking it above and beyond. You know what I mean? And that's something that needs to be looked out for, obviously.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because if that was a security guard doing something like that, gone.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Automatically going to lose your license. You're gone. I can promise you that.
Yeah, 100%.
Police officers can get away with it. They're abusing their power, mate. That's what I believe.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
Look, if it was a guy throwing punches or something, you know, all right. do what you got to do. But, you know, you got another female officer standing there. You got a male officer that's choking her, pinning her to the ground.
Much bigger than her as well. Like he's
definitely.
He's much taller than her.
All he had to do is just hold her by the arms. There's two officers restrain her.
That's it.
Backup comes, put her in the divvy van.
That's it.
You know, you got 10, 20 officers coming to one female.
Yeah.
I can't believe what I've seen, mate, honestly.
Yeah.
I swear.
Very bad view to see.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Baris, thank you so much for coming on the Aydin Show. We're looking forward to speaking to you again in the near future. You have a great night.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on.
No worries. Thanks, guys. Keep doing the good work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
See you later. Good night. Good night.
Okay, guys. So as I said, we've got a fair bit of guests coming on the show. Baris was just a little bit of a touch base. I respect Baris a lot. Like, I guess going into a craigieburn Bunnings and having security guards coming up to you and using that sort of force and trying to assault you by touching you, he's done the right thing. I believe.
I believe so as well.
We're going to go on a short break. So majority of the times when we go and straight after a guest comes on, we will put some very nice tracks on. We're here with Levent, and we will go on to the next guests.
Definitely.
Stay tuned, guys.
Put some songs on.
Her şey burada bitti, toparlan gidiyorsun. Zamana bırakmadım, tehlike arz ediyorsun. Suçüstü tövbeler, kalbe ağır darbeler. İlahi sevgilim, sen kimi kandırıyorsun? Yalnızlık bu ilişki, yalan çelişki. Senden sakınmadım, hep gözü karaydı. Bir tatlı tesadüfken şimdi acı tecrübe. Oldum ben de yanıldım, sen hep biraz yalandın. Sıfır tolerans, hadi git durma. Yüreğim soğudu, yakamam bir daha. Kısası kısas aşk alır verdiğini, acısı kalır son sözü söyleyenin. Sıfır tolerans, hadi git durma. Yüreğim soğudu, yakamam bir daha. Kısasa kısas aşk alır verdiğini, acısı kalır son sözü söyleyenin. Son sözü söyleyenim. Her şey burada bitti, toparlan gidiyorsun. Zamana bırakmadım, tehlike arz ediyorsun. Suçüstü tövbeler, kalbe ağır darbeler. İlahi sevgilim, sen kimi kandırıyorsun? Yalnızlık bu ilişki, yalan çelişki. Ki senden sakınmadım, hep gözü karaydı. Bir tatlı tesadüfken şimdi acı tecrübe. Oldum ben de yanıldım, sen hep biraz yalandın. Sıfır tolerans, hadi git durma. Yüreğim soğudu, yakamam bir daha. Kısasa kısas aşk alır verdiğini, acısı kalır son sözü söyleyenin. Sıfır tolerans, hadi git durma. Yüreğim soğudu, yakamam bir daha. Kısasa kısas aşk alır verdiğini, acısı kalır son sözü söyleyenin.
So that was a song by Hadise, Sıfır
Beautiful song,
Tolerance.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we've got some nice tunes coming up as well. So we're going to have a lot of that tonight, guys. They are Turkish songs. We're backgrounded as Turks. So in the future, hopefully we're looking at implementing more English songs into our podcasts. Guys, our next guest, we'll just give him a call. I tried to message him. He didn't reply, but we'll give him a call anyway. He's a health coach, so it'll be good if we can get some insight on health and how we can stay fit during this whole, pandemic era that we're in, Victoria. Let's give him a call.
Hello.
Ihsan, how are you, brother?
Oh, hello.
Good, buddy. How are you?
Very good, man. Very good.
That's good.
We're live on the Aydin show, brother.
The Aydin show. Awesome, mate. How are you?
Great, man. Great. What have you been up to today? Let us know a little bit about your day.
Today, what did I do? I had 2 workouts today, brother.
Whoa, not one but 2.
Good, keep you busy. Nice.
2, yeah. I do about 2 a day, and I coached about 3 clients.
Well, what do you do? First, let us know what you do in some of your workouts.
Oh, well, I pretty much I have a workout where I utilize my entire body, so I compound movements.
Okay.
And I do like circuits, I get my heart rate up, so I get the cardio effect. And
can you get it done in an hour? Since we're here in Victoria, we've got the restriction, unfortunately, being 1 hour of...
We've only got 1 hour.
Can you believe that? 1 hour of walking and health a day. Where I feel like an animal, in all honesty. I can't do whatever I want, whenever I want. Can you get it done in an hour, Ihsan?
100%. Yeah, I do 1 hour at the park and I do 1 hour at home. So,
okay.
Being a good law-abiding citizen. So,
exactly.
Yeah, so we've got to kind of follow some of the rules, I guess.
The rules there, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it hard.
Yeah, let's see where all this leads, brother. But yeah, I'm very dubious, to say the least.
Look, let some of the viewers know, what can they do, bro? We're stuck indoors. We can't do much. We've only got an hour of outdoors. What's some of the exercises you recommend to stay healthy through this whole pandemic?
Yeah. All right. So look, the minimum everybody should be doing is, if they care about their health at all, is to at least go walking for the full hour. And because just by walking, you're moving your entire body. You're swinging your arms. You're moving your legs, and that creates like a pumping effect throughout the body. So it helps you detoxify, helps you distribute water, nutrition, etc., all throughout your body. So we have to move, and I recommend the minimum an hour of walking.
Okay.
And if you've got exercise equipment, or there's heaps of programs everywhere. You can even go on YouTube and just Google a body weight workout. Just get your body moving, because it's probably the most important time for humanity to improve their health, because the unhealthier we get, the bigger trouble is coming, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Definitely. How important do you think breathing is? Do you recommend? Well, let's get into that first. How important is breathing?
All right, so breathing is crucial. We take about 25,000 breaths in 24 hours.
Wow!
Wow, amazing!
And
amazing.
And every breath we take has either a positive or a negative effect on our body. So if you have not looked after your health, if you have not looked after your body, and if you have allowed your body to deteriorate, there's a 90% chance that you are breathing incorrectly, and you're breathing in a way that is activating your sympathetic nervous system, which is the part of our body that detects danger or stress. So it's the part of our body that releases all the stress hormones. So every incorrect breath you take will activate that part of your nervous system. And when we breathe incorrectly, we are actually hyperventilating, and your nervous system actually thinks that you are dying. So
Wow.
breathing
Amazing.
is unbelievably important. And And I can guarantee you there's not one doctor that will check your breathing when you go for a health checkup. And it's the most important function in the human body.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, never happened.
It's all about
Never happened to me, that's
what's
for
wrong
sure.
with
Yeah.
you. This is the medication that you need to take, and see you later,
Yeah.
don't you think?
Well, look, this is the part that really infuriates me because they call it health care. It is not health care. It has nothing to do with health whatsoever.
Mhm.
It is just about treating symptoms and about studying disease and poor health and illness. And we're living in a victim-based society. So when you become unwell and you end up in hospital, what happens? You get visited, you get flowers brought over, you get chocolates or more junk food.
Yeah.
The hospitals feed you crap. And my point is there's a lot of, secondary gain from becoming unwell. And this is a bit of a, it might sound a bit mean or and a bit crazy, but if you think about it, healthy people aren't really on TV. Like I haven't been to a doctor since 2005, and I haven't missed a day's work.
Mashallah, that's good. Beautiful.
2005, and unfortunately, we're a disempowered population. We are not told how healthy we can actually become, and Allah has created the most amazing species, but what a shame that we are not utilizing it to its potential. It's very sad what we're doing to ourselves and how we're being led and tricked by all these politicians who definitely have an agenda.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly. 100%. And I'm behind you with that, brother. So on another note, is wearing a mask with your belief, is it going to affect our breathing? Like, obviously we have to wear it all day long. You know, I'm even seeing people driving in a car with their masks on. It doesn't make sense to me, man. What do you think about it?
Look, I think for the short term, we should probably wear it. But yes, you are right, because it does block in all that air that we're breathing in and out, and we are
6 weeks of it, brother.
we're going to breathe in it.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I don't think the masks are going anywhere, to be honest, Ahmed, but let's see. I think that the whole of Australia will be in lockdown. That's my prediction. And it's all coming. And
what do you think that's? Well, go to your point, and then we'll ask you this question.
Well, in terms of breathing, if you're already a poor breather and you're wearing a mask, then your health is just going to deteriorate even more. So my best suggestion is don't go out too much. I mean, we can only go out an hour a day anyway with a mask on. And, just do your exercises at home and try to wear something that's cotton and breathable.
I've got
not
something.
a synthetic. Yeah, not a synthetic material.
I went to the golf shop and I've got something like that. It's actually got holes, so it goes above your face. It's like a neck sort of thing. Goes around your neck.
Scarf.
Scarf, and then you pull it up and it's got all these holes on it, really big holes, so that you can breathe through it. So that is pretty good. I think I found that at Drummond Golf.
Yeah, it was a Drummond Golf.
Yeah,
we went there.
We went there. It's a black with like a blue sort of you'll see it there anyway. It's about $30. Highly recommend that, especially for the guys that are jogging and doing sports and want to get outside without having to have something kind of holding their breath inside.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Like even if you can find an organic cotton like a bandana, you can just let it hang down just past your nose, and that way the bottom part of that bandana is all open and you can breathe in fresh air.
Definitely.
Yeah.
As opposed to the mask that surrounds your nose and mouth. I don't recommend them at all. And if there's synthetic materials and you are breathing in constant toxins, gases constantly, and it's very, very bad for you. So I recommend natural materials, and organic is even better because there are no pesticides sprayed on it. So,
100% with the organics. We love our organics.
100%.
Definitely. I think what I was going to ask you was, I strongly believe that Dan Andrews isn't going to last. But you're saying you think that we're going to get a lockdown nationally. Is that what you believe?
Look, if you look at things from a distance, you'll notice that Scott Morrison isn't really saying anything bad about Dan Andrews. I honestly think these people are hand selected. I honestly think that they kind of work together to a certain degree, and Look, I don't know, but I just do not trust them, because the way I look at it is, if they cared about the population, they would empower the population to become healthier, to enhance our amazing immune system.
Yeah.
To fight this
Unfortunately,
COVID.
Yeah.
it's just fear-based approach, scaring people, disempowering them, thinking that a vaccine is the only solution to this. And the truth is, we are surrounded by over 30 trillion viruses in our environment. We live with viruses. We can't escape them. And the problem is, the unhealthier we become as a human species, the more hospitable we become to a virus. So what are we going to do when the next virus pops up? Are we going to shut down society and stop living and endure all these suicides and depression, teen depression? Do you know what I mean? Like, is this what we're going to do? This is a joke.
I agree.
It's a stupid approach.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, I agree 100%. 100%.
And that's because we are governed by unhealthy people. 90% of the population are unhealthy, and that causes huge problems.
What do you think that is?
One
You
of
think it's got a lot to, well, I believe it's got a lot to relate with food, what we get it from our supermarkets. I mean, about 97% of the produce, is chemically sprayed, or when you're looking at, buying stuff that's boxed, you turn the packaging over, and if you actually read what you're buying, you won't understand it, because there's a whole list of it there. It kind of woke me up when I was buying bread. I turned it over, and this is when my wife kind of, she helped me get onto this journey. She's like, the next time you go to a shop, pick up the bread, turn it around, and read the ingredients and count how many ingredients there are in it. And so I did that. I couldn't understand it, and then I started counting how many there was. 33 different ingredients in bread, and about 95% of those things I did not know what that was, what it stood for. So, we now make our own bread. We have 3 or 4 ingredients, and it's just simple awesome. And tastes the best.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah, that's good.
Definitely.
Yeah, in terms of health, it's a very, the sad thing is, becoming healthy is very, very easy, and becoming healthy just requires basic steps. But once you become a disempowered individual, once you become unhealthy, it is a lot harder to bring about change into your life, because you lose your independence, you lose your confidence. When this happens, you become a weak human. You become codependent on the government. You become codependent on your partner. So my point is, healthy people full of vitality, they have a lot more courage. They can bring about change a lot easier. And when it comes to health, we are only as healthy as the soil and only as healthy as our planet. So if the soil is healthy, plants will be healthy. If the plants are healthy, the animals will be healthy. If the soil, the plants, and the animals are healthy, humans will be healthy as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So the problem goes back to the way we're treating the planet and the soil. It's
just a chain reaction, isn't it?
Yeah, and if we want to talk about halal, if you support non-organic farming, I do not think it is halal at all, because it's a disrespect to what Allah has created. He did not design the planet to be treated like this, and our foods to be sprayed with all these toxic poisons. It's a joke.
What a great point that you raised, man. Point. I believe that as well. You can't have animals treated the way they are, caged up all day, fed crap, fed hormones, fed things for them to live. Like, they give them antibiotics just to keep them alive. And then we have to eat this and put it into our gut. And you're right, there is no halal. I don't see that as a halal. Just because some scholar somewhere in the world that I don't even know who he is says that it is, I disagree. It's common sense. The animals are disgusting in the way they're living, and you're putting that into your body is haram, in my opinion. And that's why I've decided to do the whole organic thing. And if I can't afford to do organic, well, then I'll stick with bread and things, like rice is very easy, affordable to buy. Olive oil's pretty affordable, just things that obviously are going to keep us healthier.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a proud Muslim, but if I had a choice out of halal non-organic meat and organic meat that wasn't halal, I have to buy the organic, because it is non-organic meat is condensed poison, and all of the toxic leftovers in the animals are stored in the fat, because fat stores toxins. And it is very, very bad for you. It's just a recipe for disaster. So, and I'm sure Allah will understand, but we have to go back to natural ways, the way we used to live.
And what you're talking about is, with Allah understanding, there is verses in the Quran, and there's a lot of mixed reaction with this. So there's two sides of the coin with this, but there are people that believe that we are allowed to eat things that aren't slaughtered by Muslims because we live in a non-Muslim country, as long as the person cutting it is he believes in God, isn't an atheist or isn't. Yeah, so we can eat that, brother. Have a little look into that. There's go on YouTube. There's a fair bit of people that have a discussion about it. It's good to kind of get your opinion from different scholars and different imams around the world on YouTube, especially the well-known ones. Look, I guess one other thing I want to touch base with you before we let you go, and we put one of our nice tracks on, is vaccines. Now, are you for them or are you against them?
Yeah, look, I think vaccines are a great idea in theory, and I think vaccines started off with really good intentions, back in the day. But in the 1980s in America, they passed a law which made it impossible that you cannot sue a vaccine company for damages if it damages your kids or your health. So you can sue the government, but you can't sue the vaccine company. So they are immune from being held accountable for vaccines. And the reality is that over $4 billion has been paid out in vaccine injury in America alone in the last, I think, 20 years. So and there are a lot of cases, and autism has gone up from 1 in 10,000.
That was in 1950, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And now it's one in. Look, depends which study you read, but 1 in 100 or 1 in 30. But it is through the roof, and there is something going on. But I think vaccines are a great idea. But my point is, how on earth you can't inject health into your body if you're not looking after your health? How on earth is a vaccine going to work? Because your immune system is already weak. Obviously, the vaccine is there to release antibodies. Yeah. If your immune system is suppressed, how on earth is a vaccine going to help you? So my point is, we got to be healthy humans first, and then we won't need all this medication. I firmly believe that. So
definitely,
100%.
Ihsan Tuncel, thank you so much for coming on the episode, brother.
Thank you.
No worries.
You have a great night, and we'll keep in touch, man. We'll definitely be giving you a call again sometime in the near future.
Yeah, and don't forget, gentlemen, thank you for your call, and don't forget, your health will set you free. Do not forget this, okay?
Beautiful ending, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Have a good night. Okay, well, that was our brother that spoke. Well, I guess we were speaking about Ihsan, sorry. Our brother Ihsan Tuncel. I was just looking for his last name. He's a holistic health coach. So anyone that wants to reach out, he's very easy to find on Facebook. Otherwise, you can email us at theaydinshow@gmail.com.au. Guys, just before we go to a break, I just want to ask some of the viewers that are watching right now, if you could share this, like our page, we would thank you so much for the support, and we will be back in no time at all.
Seni tam üzerime alınırım. Darılırsam ancak kendime darılırım. Dayanamam diye bir şey yok, dayanırım. Gerekiyorsa yalancının birine sarılırım. Git hadi sen nereye gidersen içimden geliyorsun, tarifi zor sözlerle ama sen gözümden biliyorsun. Seni benden alan kader, ölsem vermem diyor. Yalandan yangınların bir yanıyor, geri ikisi kesiyor. Alınırım, seni tam üzerime alınırım. Darılırsam ben amca kendime darılırım. Dayanamam diye bir şey yok, dayanırım. Gerekiyorsa yalancının birine sarılırım. Git hadi sen nereye gidersen içimden. Biliyorsun tarifi zor sözlerle ama sen gözümden biliyorsun. Seni benden alan kader, ölsem vermem diyor. Yalandan yangınların bir yanıyor geri iki sönüyor. Seni benden alan kader, ölsem vermem diyor. Yalandan rüzgarların bir esiyor nefesimi kesiyor. Seni benden alan kader, ölsem vermem diyor. Yalandan yangınların bir yanıyor geri iki sönüyor. Seni benden alan kader, ölsem vermem diyor. Yalandan rüzgarların bir esiyor nefesimi kesiyor.
And we are back. That
are back.
was
We are back.
from Soner Sarık. Oh, it's a big last name.
Sarıkaladayı, I think it is.
I don't know.
Is
But
it?
it's
Yeah,
called
should
Tarifi Zor.
Yeah, Tarifi Zor.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite
That's the one.
songs that we've got. So we just had ihsan, tuncel, health coach. We went through a few things. What did you reckon, Levy?
Good to know, obviously, and go over some of those real important matters, for the health sector. So, again, in touch and base, and obviously picking up on, what you're buying and just double checking and just reading what's behind it is so important. And then a lot of people don't do that. Just pick it up on the shelf and then just take it home and start eating it. I highly recommend, obviously, just reading that preservatives and all that stuff in the back of it. Makes a big difference.
Definitely
That's for sure.
does,
Yeah,
brother, definitely does. Especially when you start to feel, in your 30s. I'm 35 years old, man, and I'm starting to feel everything.
Yeah, you do.
Like,
You do. Yeah, 100%.
I feel when I've got gut issues or when you can tell something's not right. You know what I mean? Your body if you're not eating well. Very important, guys. So our next guest, we've got Aydin Akbulut. He's a lawyer in Melbourne. We're going to discuss a couple of things about law. Again, stay tuned. We've got a lot of exciting guests coming on. So here we go. Let's give Aydin a call.
Hello.
Aydin Akbulut, how are you, brother? You're live on the Aydin Show.
Hey, what's going on, Ahmed? Bro? How are you?
Alhamdulillah, very good. Yourself, bro?
Not much good, bro. Can't complain. Just suffering a bit of cabin fever with this lockdown, but every day above ground is a good day, man.
True that, brother. True that. At least we're alive and healthy, alhamdulillah.
aren't we all? Yeah.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Yeah.
How you guys holding up?
Pretty good, man. We've been working pretty hard in the office. We've been doing some renovations here.
Yeah.
That's been keeping us back pretty
You're busy.
late.
Yeah, staying back late,
man.
yeah.
We've got a fair bit of customers that that we're trying to help build their houses through this pandemic. It's a little bit different now for us builders. We can only have about 5 people on site.
Yeah. The numbers are always changing all the time. So definitely going back onto Master Builder's website and all that other stuff and just getting those information there has been pretty well. But definitely, if you need information, go online for that.
Definitely, yeah. There's a lot of things that notifications that come through. Unfortunately, when you're looking at your emails about the COVID, that you just got to constantly read, and it's just really depressing. What do you think about all this, Aydin?
Look, it's been an interesting state of affairs, man. I looked at, without a doubt, the world, and in particular Melbourne and Australia, to an extent, is in a state of flux. You know, the economic consequences of this particular virus, we will not see the proper full picture until I think, you know, at least a year or two from now, and certainly it's making everyone's lives much more difficult to adjust. You know, I can't begin to imagine what it'll be like trying to run a construction site with, you know, a limitation of you know, 5 tradies. Which one do you get there first, and so on and so forth. So I genuinely do sympathise with you guys. It's,
you know, it is very hard to adjust, brother. It wasn't easy, I guess. I feel sorry for a lot of the other builders that are out there as well that are going through it, especially the guys that are in commercial. You know, that becomes even more difficult because you've got, you know, sky rises and you've got other type of buildings that you got to build.
Yeah, the commercial, yeah.
Exactly,
Imagine the commercial,
I mean,
yeah.
Even us, we're struggling a little bit, Aydin, because when you're getting the concrete slab poured, it's very difficult to have, you know, the truck driver there that's got the cement ready to go, and then you've got you've got about, say, 4 concreters.
4, 5, 6, sometimes even 10. It just depends on how big the slab is.
They're about that big. Like usually, if it's a big slab, you'll have about 6 guys on there trying to pour us. You know, 6 or 7 guys on there. Now we got to kind of cut that down. So, but yeah, look, alhamdulillah, we're getting through it, man. It's all good.
Well, look, I mean, you know, coupled with the fact that you've got, you know, you're reducing margins and banks, you know, tightening their lending criteria. You know, the residential builders will hopefully get through it. The commercial ones are at significantly higher risk with reducing property values and so on and so forth. So, you know, I wish you guys all the best. Do what you can to get through it, and hopefully you guys come up diamonds on the other end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're very positive by it. We're very positive by what's happening, I guess, in terms of keeping the business afloat. You know, we've got a really good plan. But look, Aydin, I want to talk a little bit about you, bro. You're a lawyer here in Melbourne. How long have you been in law for?
Oh, that's a good question. I got admitted in 2001. So I initially went to the University of Melbourne. I'm proud to say I finished high school at Broadmeadows High School. I think it's called Hume Secondary College now. Yeah. And I think there was one prior student before me who got into Melbourne Uni for the entire history of that particular school.
Wow, I was going to say that. Amazing.
Medicine. I think I'm the first kid in the history of Broady High to go to law school.
I don't think there's one in Uffield, man. Me and Levy went up the road from you, so I don't recall anybody coming out of Uffield High becoming a lawyer. Do you?
I think so. Yeah.
Real estate agents,
congratulations, mate.
or salespeople, or builders. Yeah.
Well done.
Some for the young brothers to aspire to. Look, I've been in the game since 2001, 2002. I started my own practice at about 2009. Prior to that, I was working in Sydney for a little while, and I ended up moving back to Melbourne. And a couple of years after moving back here, I started my own practice too. So yeah, it's been a very interesting career, that's for sure.
Well, let us know a little bit better. What's been so interesting throughout your career?
I suppose there's the transition from a place like Broady High,
yeah,
to law school was very difficult. It was a different world. I mean, I'm talking about having to go to class with people whose fathers are the CEOs and the judges and the lawyers and so on and so forth. And I was in university with Gareth Evans' daughter. And Gareth Evans at the time was the Foreign Affairs Minister. This was the 3rd most powerful man in the country.
Wow.
Whose daughter is in my class, and my dad was in jail at the time. So it was an interesting experience. It was very difficult. I did struggle the first couple of years while I was at university, purely because there's a massive transition that comes from going from high school where everything's regimented. Your teachers are on your back. They're always, basically making sure you do your assessments and so on and so forth. And I thrived in that, with that sort of structure and rigid routine. When you get to university, it's completely different. Whether you go to classes, you don't go to classes, nobody really cares, to be honest with you. And that I had a lot of difficulty in terms of adjusting to that. But I thankfully got through it. And
What inspired you to become a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay, you're in Broady High. This is how I'm thinking about it. You're in Broady High. We're at lunchtime. We're talking about. Anyway, I don't want to get into the conversations which they have at Upfield High, but you know. So, how did this whole lawyer thing come about?
It was more personal circumstances than it was, I think, a really sort of a intelligent, well thought decision. One of the difficulties that we face with the current educational system is something that was highlighted by a guy called Sir Kenneth Robinson, and he basically says that the current education system we have is based on 18th century capitalism, where effectively one size fits all the kids that are 18 are in the same class. You're all basically subject to this cookie cutter regime where you go in, you do the basics. No one's allowed to sort of explore their strengths, and you know there are expectations that are placed upon you. I was going through year 11, year 12. My dad was going through a very serious criminal trial at the time, and I ended up seeing firsthand how important lawyers can be to protecting people's rights, and having my father experience the bad end of bad legal representation. It inspired me somewhat to go down and see if I can make a difference. Basically, yeah.
What a beautiful story!
Yeah, beautiful story. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Thanks, guys.
So you with university, you transitioned into it. You then passed. Do you get a certificate? How does it work? Tell us, guys from Broadmeadows that don't know what you need to do with the processes of becoming a lawyer.
Graduating from university gives you a ticket into the game. That's the best way I can explain it to you. There are many graduates out there that are struggling to find work, and a lot of that is driven because they don't have the underlying vocational experience to come along and present themselves as a worthy candidate of being hired. I mean, when I graduated from the University of Melbourne, I moved to New South Wales. I ended up doing the College of Law there, which is a sort of a postgraduate studies you need to do to become admitted as a lawyer. And once you complete that postgraduate studies, you have to get 6 months of experience under your belt before you can get admitted as a lawyer. Wow. And I was living in Wollongong at the time, which is about 90 k's out of Sydney, and I travelled every day from Wollongong to the city for free and back, paying my own tickets, paying my own lunch and so on and so forth for 6 months just to get my foot in the door. So it's difficult, but not impossible if you're willing to make the sacrifices. That you will pay. It will pay in the end. University is no guarantee that you're going to get into the profession. It requires a little bit more than that, a little bit more grit, a little bit more hard work, so to speak. But it really, it's a very, very difficult profession to manage unless you're absolutely leaning into it. There is a substantial price to pay that comes with the high levels of stress and pressure. And if you're really unsure as to whether you want to do that for the rest of your life, then anyone who's sort of looking at that as a career path should go off and make copies and just do some photocopying at the local law firm and see whether that's what they want to spend the rest of their lives doing. Because not all that glitters is gold. There are certainly other ways to make money, and some people don't have some people are just, very, very creative. This requires a very different sort of skill set, being analytical, being focused, being reserved in most instances. It's certainly not for everyone. But, if you do, if there are kids out there that really think that they want to do this for life, it can be very, very rewarding, both, emotionally and financially, definitely.
Definitely.
No.
Yeah, we hear that lawyers do very well after once they get into a law firm and they work their way up, they do really well. You've got your own business, is that correct, Aydin?
I do. Yeah. So look, there's certainly there's an economic reward that comes along with what we do. The question is whether it's worth the price to pay in the initial periods of your career. If you go and work for one of the top tier firms, Minters and K&L Gates and so on and so forth, they will work you to the bone for 10 years. And I'm talking, if you've got, take for example, K&L Gates, for example, they've got offices in the Cayman Islands, they've got offices in London, they've got offices in Hong Kong, they've got offices in Melbourne, Sydney, and so on and so forth. They're doing a large scale merger and acquisition of, two companies that are trying to merge And you've got lawyers in the Caribbean, you've got lawyers in London, you've got lawyers in Hong Kong and lawyers in Melbourne all trying to manage this merger. Yeah. Someone's going to be waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, dude. You know, there's just no way you're going to be able to speak to all these people live unless someone's doing some really, really hard early hours in the morning. And once you make partner at a top-tier firm like that, it becomes a license to print money. Okay. You know, we're talking $1 million a year plus. You know, Robert Richter, the QC, who's considered one of the more preeminent criminal law barristers, you know, he charges $50,000 to look at a case and then $9,000 a day. Yeah. You know, that's nothing to sneeze at. But you know, there is a price to pay for that, because it's interesting. Even Robert Richter recently wrote an article in the Law Institute of Victoria about the difficulties he had with sort of dealing with the stress, and you know, because people expect him to go in there and just completely kick ass, and you don't always get the result you want, even if you're Robert Richter at $9,000 a day. It doesn't always go the way you want it to go. And you know, the whole case of George Pell is a prime example of that. He lost that case, which was then Brett Walker then got that case overturned on appeal. So you know, there are some good days and there's some bad days, without a doubt.
Talking about some cases. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the most exciting,
interesting
moments,
cases,
exciting moments that you've had being a lawyer?
Oh,
one that kind of comes to mind.
Exciting is a very interesting word.
The toughest one.
Interesting, I guess.
Interesting word. Look,
yeah, it is.
The excitement comes with a feeling of absolute joy and rapture when you pull off a result that you've been working on for a very, very long time, and you know that is sort of the right end of the moral compass, so to speak. I've been working on this case for the last year and a half, 2 years. That involved international governments, the Middle East, Indonesia, Malaysia, the agriculture industry here, a series of mosques here, and so on and so forth. And it was really interesting sort of David and Goliath case, where we were significantly under-resourced, underfunded. The other side had all the money and they had all the information, and just to be able to chip away at that day by day, and strategy by strategy, and then be able to pull off the result at the end is really, really rewarding. The more notable cases are the ones that sort of the more interesting cases have been the ones that sort of involve really, really difficult fights against the government. Like I had a case, for example, where I represented a lady who had a child who was born with cerebral palsy, epilepsy, a series of other sort of debilitating disabilities, and she raised him until he was about 16 years old, until DHS stepped in and forced him to go into full-time care. And about a month and a half later, he passed away in care. And under the coroner's legislation, anyone who dies in state custody has to be subject to a coronial inquest. In that particular case, the court ultimately ruled that the kid died of natural causes. But that was a difficult case insofar as it's hard to sort of not wonder that there was no sort of underlying economic drivers which caused the DHS to sort of intervene. You've got a single mother at home looking after a terribly sick child. Is there an economic incentive that sort of says, well, it's better off we take that kid off her and she goes into the workforce and starts paying taxes? But, there's been some interesting ones along the way. The murder cases are always hard.
They're the ones we want to listen to. The murder cases.
They're the exciting ones.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, look, what people don't tell you about those types of cases is you actually get to see the actual crime scene photos. You're required to read the victim impact statements. I mean, I did one case where it was a robbery homicide case in Sydney, where a young couple were going through some tough times financially. They advertised their engagement ring for sale in the paper, and two brothers went around there and they basically robbed them, and a knife was produced, and the guy ended up being stabbed to death. Having to sort of confront those photos and read the victim impact statement, that was difficult. I mean, he got a really, really hefty whack of 25 years even after he pled guilty, and rightly so. It was a very, very, very heinous crime, There's always some interesting nuances. Like, for example, I was involved in a case where there was a person who'd actually committed suicide. Technically, that was the official report. But we were of the opinion that it was a homicide that was masked as a suicide, and the initial incompetence of the investigating officers. I mean, they returned the knife that the that the partner had used to cut down the rope that that the victim had hung herself from. They returned the actual noose. They didn't take any fingerprints. They didn't secure the potential crime scenes. And the partner was always whispering in the police officers into the back of the police officer's mind about the fact that the victim had been fighting a long-standing battle with depression and suicidal ideation. So it was interesting to see how someone, relatively inexperienced police officer walks in and goes, "Oh yeah, this is just a suicide." But we were of the opinion that it was a little bit more to that particular case. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Very interesting, Joe.
Very interesting. Yeah. Exactly.
Aydin, before we let you go, you grew up here in the north. You went to Bordy High. What's some of the advice you can give some of the young guys to inspire them today?
Yeah.
This is a bit of an on-the-spot question.
But
that's what we're about. Exactly.
There's no limit to what you can do. I think it's, the Navy SEALs have got a 1 times 20 rule, which is the average human being is capable of 20 times more than what they think that they're able to do. You can be a victim, and you can go down the path of the established routine of kids growing up in our particular area. I was a gang member in the old 3047 boys with the late Nabil Mahogany and some of the other brothers in the area. Nabil, as recently passed away, and he who lives by the sword dies by the sword. Dude, if that's the lifestyle you want to choose, then cool. There's going to be a price you're going to pay for that.
Exactly.
If that's the price you want to pay, if it's if you're after that fame and that particular notorious reputation, then yeah, no problem. Someone will give it to you, but at the end of the day, there will be a price you have to pay for it. If you want to stick fat and do the right thing, there will be people out there to support you and to guide you. I didn't get here on my own. I struggled financially going through university. A couple of brothers gave me substantial financial top-outs to help me with certain parts of my course and so on and so forth. So anyone who really wants to make a difference and wants to chase their dreams, they can do it, man. It's just the question is whether you
and you can find those people around you.
Exactly,
you can find those people around you as well. They're not too difficult, especially when you're hungry. People can see that.
Yeah, you got to want it.
They can see that. Okay, this guy wants to succeed, wants to get somewhere in life. We should give him a bit of a chop, give him a little bit of a hand to get there.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, there's plenty of people out there that are called. There's angel investors and venture capitalists out there that are looking for good business ideas to invest their money in. And a friend of mine who started a fish farm, his first exit he made like 16 mil from, right? And he started a fish farm in Tasmania, and when they exited that particular venture, he made 16 mil from it. And he said to me once, he said, and I don't have any entrepreneurial skill or any desire to sort of go down that path. It's not not the kind of energy I have, but there are certain people out there that really want to be focused on that kind of stuff. He once said to me, there are more angel investors out there looking with a lot of money, looking for good ideas to invest in than there are good ideas to invest in. Right?
Yeah,
so there's more people out there with money to invest in really, really good business plans than there are good business plans. And that's the thing. There's the sky's the limit. It doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter what you do. I've managed to see the world. I've managed to rub shoulders with some very, very interesting people along the way. And you can either make excuses for yourself, or you can hold yourself accountable and move forward.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I guess to help you go on that path along that way of entrepreneurship, reading books are very important. I mean, one of the guys that me and you kind of were supposed to go together, I couldn't make it. Jordan Patterson, The 12 Rules for Life, is a really good one to read. Is there any other books that you kind of recommend that would help the young guys or anyone in that matter try to kind of change their life around?
Look, Jordan Peterson's a fantastic starting point. He sold 3 million copies in the space of a year, and a fantastic speaker and really, really profoundly intellectual individual. There's always the basics, like how to win friends and influence people. The Art of War, for example, that talks about strategy. I mean, it is a book that was written about war, but primarily does have practical applications in terms of business and strategy and so on and so forth. The 48 Laws of Power is a very interesting book by a guy called Robert Greene. It's an unadulterated look at the concept of power and how people can use power to advance their own interests. So that's it. You know, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's a very, very interesting book, and there's some sort of Machiavellian elements to it, and so on and so forth. But you know, look, at the end of the day, dude, it doesn't matter what you're reading. Everything you read is gonna expand your horizons.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It doesn't matter what you read. There's so much good books out there. There's so much good content out there, and the opportunity that we have today, you know, in today's day and age, with the technological advancements, with audio books, you don't even have to read a book. You can just listen to it in the car. You know, it's much better for you to be spending your time advancing your intellectual outlook than it is to be, you know, watching the football and you know, binge watching on Netflix. So I'm not suggesting that I don't do either of those things, but there has to be
all that long.
No.
Yeah.
No, you can't. I mean, you weren't put on this. You weren't put on this earth to be a consumer. You know.
Yeah.
As much as the forces want to tell us that we're not. You know.
That's so true. Yeah. All right, then, it was a pleasure talking to you, brother.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for coming on the show. We'll definitely stay in touch.
Thanks for having me on, man. All the best. Big fan, man. Keep it up, man. It's really good to see you guys doing what you're doing. It's inspirational to see you guys putting in the effort. You know, you keep chipping away at it, and you know, without a doubt, do what you love, man. And I'm really, really proud to be involved in it. And I wish you guys every success in the future.
Thank you so much, Aydin.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks, Aydin. I'll speak to you later. You guys too, man. Have a good
night.
Bye. Okay, that was Aydin Akbulut. Very wise words at the end there.
Yeah, definitely.
Stick to what you're dreaming and just work hard towards it, and it pays off, guys.
Chasing that, you need to chase. You need to be hungry, and that's for sure.
That's right. So it's pretty. Look, you can dream, but that's not going to bring those dreams to reality. It's the hard work that you put in, just like Aydin's done. You know, he's travelled
travelling from Wollongong to the city, and as I used to live in Sydney myself, and that is a very, very far. You know what I mean? It's so far in between. So good on him to go through that stage, and you know, wish him all the best. That's for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, guys, we're going to go on a break. We're going to put some more tunes on. Again, guys, please like and share the page.
Like and share,
we'll be
guys.
back
Thanks.
with Amit and Levy. And we are back live in the studio, guys. We've had such a great episode so far with all our lovely guests.
Yeah, it's been good. Lovely guests.
Yeah, Levy, I guess, look, the next guest that we're about to have on, he's one of the boys here in Meadow Heights, here in the northern suburbs.
Yep.
He's a young brother, 24-year-old. He's got a very interesting story. He's had a bit of a tough life, man. You know, something that a lot of us can relate to, being born in the north, being around the suburbs, you know, around the Bronx, growing up around here. So let's give him a call. Let's have a bit of a chat with Said.
Alaikum, brother.
Well, alaikum salam, Said. We are live on the Aydin Show, bro. How are you?
Not too bad, brother. Nice to be alive. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, very good, man. What are you up to tonight, brother? What are you doing?
Not too much. We're just chilling in the studio at the moment. I'm with Izzy, the other artist on our record label.
Ooh, we're going to talk a lot about that, man. But Said, I guess I had a bit of a discussion with you early on, man. You've had a bit of a tough upbringing. You know, I think you live in Meadow Heights. Is that correct?
I live in Meadow Heights. I'm with the boys at the moment in Meadow Heights in the studio right now. Look, a lot of us have had, you know, tough upbringings, you know, around these suburbs, a lot of broken families, a lot of, you know, violence and stuff like that. And, we pretty much came together with our record label, North Unit, to just bring the brothers together so we can do something productive with our days, you know?
Let's go back. So tell us a little bit about your youth. What was it like for you, man? What happened?
Growing up, you know, we weren't given the opportunities like other people have given. Like, a lot of people have been given opportunities maybe from their parents or cousins or uncles around them. And growing up between two cultures, I have all my family in Turkey, and a lot of my friends have all their family in Turkey. And we're just here with our parents pretty much. And our parents came from nothing, and they worked their way up.
Wait, hold on. So you're with your parents here, or are they overseas? Are you talking about how your parents came from Turkey to Australia?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm pretty much considered, I think, second generation Aussie, because my parents they're here now, but they came from Turkey. So they worked hard here in Australia, working on the farm, working where they can, trying to make something, trying to buy a house for us and this and that.
And we weren't given those opportunities.
Are we talking about Shepparton Farm? Did you go there and live there for a little while?
Picking tomatoes.
Yeah, man, I've done that for one day, bro, and I couldn't.
The worst thing ever.
I don't know how these guys did it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me because I went there with 4 bricklayers. All right, we went there for one day, and we were burning under the sun. We were doing nothing but complaining. We were breathing out of our back ends to fill up one tub, and we couldn't even do it. We went halfway. 4 guys, man, couldn't fill one tub, and I'm looking.
It's very hard work, and when you don't have a choice, you have to do it. You have to go through it. And our parents did that, thankfully, and that's why we're at the days that we are now. But it's hard as well, man, because you go to school, you're not given the same opportunities, you're not given the same, possibilities as other people. I finished university and I couldn't get a job. I did a diploma in information technology. I couldn't get a job. I couldn't find any jobs. I went into trade. I started concreting. I did concreting for 4 years, and then I went in and did a mechanics apprenticeship. And just as I started the mechanics apprenticeship, the coronavirus, unfortunately made me lose my job.
What job was that? Where were you working?
I was working at Goodyear Auto Care. So
you were working there full time, part time?
I was working there full time actually. Thanks to one of my friends who got me the job.
Okay.
I was working there full time. I did a lot of mechanics in my own backyard, which helped me, start the apprenticeship, and I actually moved forward very quickly in that industry. But unfortunately, because there was no cars coming in, there was no cars on the road, so the boss couldn't keep me on, so I couldn't continue on my apprenticeship. And so instead of being negative and going down and just sleeping all day, being negative, being unhealthy, I decided to pick myself up and, start music. And that's when I linked up with Uzaid, the other artist on North Una, and we designed a studio in our Meadow Heights home. And we designed an amazing studio where we got our microphone set up, we got our keyboard, and we make music all day, every day. We come in here,
Are you a writer or a singer, or what are you? What do you do there?
So I've been rapping since I was 14, pretty much. So dealing with bullying in school. Oh, sorry, what was that?
No, that's all right. Tell us your story. So you were getting bullied in school?
Yeah, I was getting bullied in school a lot. I went to King Khalid Islamic College, and I dealt with a lot of bullying there in school. I was the only son in my family, and growing up, I wasn't a very confident kid. I was a very shy person, and I didn't have the confidence like the other kids had, and I got bullied.
What do you think that confidence wasn't there? Look, I can relate to you. I'm the only son as well. I've got 3 younger sisters, and I was going through the same scenario. I didn't have a lot of confidence. My self-esteem was really low. I didn't know how to act around kids, but that had a lot to do with, I believe, my upbringing. So was that the same case with you?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. I think that has a big tie towards how you've been upbrought. And to be honest, I grew up in a lot of family violence as well. So I would go to school, I would get bullied, I would come home, and I would get a bit abused at home as well. Growing up as a kid, the father going through stress throughout the day, and then you being the little kid, you're angry, you're this, you're that, and then you copper from the dad too, and then that brings your confidence down as well, and you don't know how to act, and you're shy, you don't know how to speak to anyone, you can't express yourself and speak out about how you're feeling and what you want to talk about.
Because you don't know how to speak out, brother. Exactly. Because you don't know how to speak out. Because you're going home and you're copying all that rubbish. You know what I mean? It's sad, man. It's sad that a lot of families, a lot of fathers especially, can do that to their young little kids, put them through all that pressure, all that stress, all that crap. And it's not uncommon. It's very common in our northern suburbs with our Muslim people. Unfortunately, they just don't realize the damage they're causing in these little kids. They need to be their friends. They need to be there for them. They need to speak with them, sit down with them, be on their level.
Simple things,
what I mean? Exactly. Be on their level and realize, hey, I'm not living this life for myself, for this life, for this stress, for whatever. It's I'm living because God's created me. He's put me on this world. He's given me imanet, which means he's giving you kids to look after, and you need to do the right thing by your wife. You need to do and if you've got issues, that's okay. It might have been passed on from generation to generation. I understand that, but realize that there is an issue there and go seek help and try to fix yourself up step by step, and eventually you'll be much better than what you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a very big common occurrence around these areas. You see it a lot, especially from the fathers. But alhamdulillah, at the end of the day, You know, it made me a stronger person. And I used to be a person that was very shy. I could never say no. I could never speak up for myself. I never had that confidence. I could never make music. I was never motivated. But thank you to my father. And I love my father for putting me through all that stress, because at the end of the day, that made me a stronger person. He had his own issues. He had his own mental stress that I didn't understand as a kid. Yes, okay, it is wrong to abuse your children. At the end of the day, you are right saying that your child is an emanat from Allah. You have to look after him and guide him, not use.
And because of that, Said, you're going to be a very good father, bro. Because of what you've gone through, what you're saying, inshallah, brother, you'll be much better to your children, and you'll put a stop to, you know, this thing happening in the future within your family, hopefully.
Inshallah, I pray. I really hope to become a father one day too. I'm 25 now, so hopefully one day I can be a father as well, and guide my son one day into the right path, inshallah.
Inshallah, brother.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell us what happened. So you got bullied, low self-esteem, and then eventually, how did you build that confidence up? Where did that come from? Where did you find that from?
I'm going to tell you a story now. So while I was at school, I had only one friend that would come up to me, and I would always listen to rap music. I would always listen to like Eminem and depressing things to help me cope with the stress of life and stuff. And one day my friend came up to me and he started rapping one of Eminem's songs. I never thought about rapping one of Eminem's songs. I was about 14 years old then. And then I started rapping Eminem's songs, and every single day just rapping and rapping. And then I thought to myself, I could write my own lyrics. I could write about what I'm going through. I could write about what I'm feeling. I could express myself, and maybe I could become something. It was a hard struggle on and off. I wasn't writing too good. I wasn't doing too good. I wrote a few songs. It didn't really work out. You know, I fell off and on a bit, but I always stayed on it. That was the one thing that I would always go back to. When I was alone, I would go to that. When I was stressed, I would go to that. You know, people have escapes. They do. Some people go to other things. Some people do you know, exercise. I went to that. That was my.
A lot of people go to drugs and bad friends because they can't, you know, connect with anyone else.
Yeah.
And so
they move away.
Exactly. So what you've done, you've gone through rap, music.
Exactly right.
Man, play us a tune. Play us a tune. Sing us a song.
Yeah, Can you play us something from your end?
Would you like me to rap you like a live freestyle?
If you can, please. We love that.
We're listening.
Yeah,
man.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Should I chuck a beat on my computer?
Put an instrumental in the background for us.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, sorry, brother.
Give you a bit of a verse.
That's it.
All right, give me one sec.
Want to hear this?
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
All right, let me know when you can hear it.
Yes, I can hear it a little bit better.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to rap.
Let's go.
Yeah, listen. Late night chilling in my bedroom, writing raps, learning about my headroom. I want to go out. I want to get loose. I want to go chain. I want to pet moose. Back in high school, bruh, I was a loser. People used to laugh at me, spitting on in class at me. That was plain harassing me. I ain't have 50. I ain't have money. I ain't have girls. I ain't that funny. Was I that ugly? I put my music in and I'm moving within. Now, when I burst, I murder the booth. I am not a liar, I'll hurt you with truth. When I spit fire, you want a real time, real quick, cause I serve you with juice. When I rip raps, did it stick wax? Snapping in my heart like Kit Kats, making them wish they just rip rap. Who's left? I bring that to death. Rip it apart, I'm so stark, I wreck the rest. I'll stab you in the heart with the dragon glass. Sneak up on your rocks, leave you in the past. Speak up on your bars, cause I'm faster off. And I find it really hard not to blast your bars. But hold up, let me just step back. Let me rip a few quick facts. Some cats. I started back in 99. Multi-syllables in the mind of mine. But no more what time wasted, I wasted enough of my time. I'm patient, I'm busting my rhymes. Complacent, I'm chasing, I'm busting the shine. I'm sick of my heart racing, but not getting enough, so I'm stuck on my grind, MZ my name, I'm lyrically insane. I kill on any rhythm, plus I'm mentally ordained. But depression and pain is leading me to change. I got positive vibes, 6 texts in my brain. So who wanna diss me? Mark of the beat, come get the mince meat. Hard in the sheets, you ain't got a chance against me.
Wow.
Beautiful. That was good. Really good.
You're the next Eminem, bro.
That's very good, mate.
You know, Eminem's been the only white rapper that's done so well for a very long time. I think you're gonna definitely.
Do you also rap in Turkish as well, or is it just English?
Brother, I'm not the best at Turkish at the moment. My Turkish is a bit weak. I'm working on my vocabulary.
Yeah, definitely need to collaborate with you. I think on that one. I'll do a bit of Turkish one.
Loves it, man.
Definitely, I'd love to come and see you in the studio.
We have a lot more.
Yeah.
Sorry, brother. Sorry, cut you off.
No, that's all right. Go ahead. 100%.
I said we have a lot more freestyles and stuff. It's on our Instagram page at north_unit.
Yep.
Say
So,
for something that's through your mobile phone, that's very impressive, brother. And inshallah, you only get better at it.
I'd like to hear a good single
because
on that one, yeah.
I felt the passion, I felt the pain. You know what I mean? I listened to the lyrics, and man, I'm one of those guys that can relate to you. And I'm sure there's so many other guys that are watching today.
Yeah, definitely.
They can kind of understand that song that you just sang us. Thank you so much.
Can we watch you on YouTube? Is there a YouTube channel that you have?
We also do have a YouTube channel. It's called North Unit as well. All our pages are North Unit.
Yep.
So NORTH_unit.
Yep.
So we call ourselves North Unit because we're pretty much a record label that came together, and we make music under the name North Unit.
Beautiful.
But we have artists, and we also do want to help the youth around Middle Heights, and we want to keep the youth out of trouble. So if there is anyone out there that is finding it and they're finding a hard time and feeling depressed in this COVID crisis, they can always come to us in North Unit, and they can express themselves through music, and we'll definitely help them and guide them through their.
What else do you guys? How else do you guys help them apart from the music? What else do you guys do up there?
To be honest, we do talks as well. We do boxing. We have a little boxing ring back here as well where we teach jiu-jitsu. We have our friend, his name's Tayyip. I'd like to thank him.
Are you talking about Tayyip?
Yeah, Tayyip Atta. Yes, exactly.
He's my haji, and he's also my customer. We're building a house for him. So Tayyip, I know him very well.
He's one of our good friends as well. He comes all the time down here, and he helps the boys here learn.
I think he's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. He was around with. I think he went to Murat Karadenizli. That's a very good friend of mine.
Yeah, right. He's been purple belt for about 10 years now.
Yeah, he's had some injuries as well. Even at Hajj when we were doing it together, he was having some issues. He had to go to Turkey and have surgery on his feet. But look, bro, I thank you so much for coming on the show. It was very inspirational.
Yeah, thanks for your story. Definitely.
Exactly.
It was humbling to definitely hear that.
Keep it up. And if we've got any viewers that, want to do something different, aren't too sure, they're living in a really bad spot, it sounds like where you guys are is a good place to be. So hopefully they could find you.
Yeah, definitely.
100%, brother. We're here to motivate the youth and help the youth.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
We'll touch base soon, for sure.
Not a problem.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye. Good night, brother. Take care.
Bye.
So yeah, look, Lev, a lot of guys can relate to that. We've grown up in the north. Not all of us are the same. Obviously, majority of the, I believe, youth at the moment, they're on the wrong track, man. Unfortunately, it's not their fault. We as adults, we as parents need to do a little bit more. We as leaders in the community, Muslim leaders, whatever they are, man, non-Muslim leaders.
Being more understanding is
exactly. But more, what we need to do as leaders in the community is talk to the elderly, and just express,
communication.
Try to express ourselves. Guys, we're going to go on a bit of a break, and just like the page and share it, and we'll be back hopefully with someone else. Speak to you guys soon. And we are back. We're back live on the Aydin show. Guys, we've got a few more guests that we're going to be putting on. We'll probably do this for another half an hour to an hour, and then we'll call it a night. But our next guest, let's just give him a ring. We've got Jamal, brother Jamal, that's going to come on. We've also got a very good friend of mine, Paul from Sydney. He's been involved with the One Path group. He's got a very interesting story of how he wasn't a Muslim, and he found Islam, and he wants to discuss a little bit about that. We've also got a very beloved friend of mine, Mustafa Kirkan, that wants to come on, and we might even fit in Talha Bozkurt if he decides to join us later on tonight. He's been studying religion for a very long time now. He's been all around the world to kind of get that information and learn that knowledge and wisdom. So maybe he can join us a bit later. But let's start with Jamal, brother Jamal Abazi. Let's give him a call.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, brother Jamal. How are you, man?
Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Very good, brother. We were just discussing something, and you came to mind, man. We were just discussing how important it is for our leaders, for our Muslim leaders, to be role models, to help, I guess, the youth kind of, our discussion, if you've been watching us, what we've been talking about, we had a troubled teen. My advice was pretty much that, a lot of parents, a lot of leaders need to help by, talking about this, by getting it out there, by having the discussion about pretty much, that the parents are doing the wrong things and they do need to do the right. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, alhamdulillah, salam to everyone. Listen, that's why I've opened a youth centre. That's been operating now for, I think almost 10 years. Okay. Because the children, our kids, regardless of what nationality, what faith they might be, they're in a little bit of a serious problem, amongst each other. So we definitely need to be more aware of what's happening. I think the gap between a lot of parents and children is I'm not talking about gap in age. I'm talking about gap in understanding their kids is pretty far. A lot of parents these days are hard workers, and they put a lot of trust in their children, and the children can sometimes take advantage in a negative way. Depends with the friends around them. Yeah, so it is a problem. It's a serious problem that we do face. Drugs is a huge problem. Depression is another big problem.
But I believe the biggest problem is the abuse from the parents, the way they treat their children, the way they talk to their children. There's a lot of different types of abuse. Obviously, physical, verbal. Verbal's just as bad as the physical in some terms. And that kind of leads these children to, not be able to connect with someone that they look up to, someone that's older than them, someone that can advise them on doing the wrong things.
Yeah, look, that's what that's what I mean by the gap. I mean, if you have a look at a lot of families, the abuse, if the abuse is coming, say, from the parents, I'm talking about, it doesn't have to be physical abuse. A lot of the parents aren't really aware of what they're actually doing to their kids indirectly. So look, it's just lack of education, I guess. Having a hard life, because people, a lot of the first generation, second generation, third generation of Australians that have come from overseas, the further back you go, I mean, like my father, peace be with him, he passed away in 99. He was the most loving parent you could find, yeah? But he also had certain rules and regulations you did not break. You would know about it, but that's how they knew how to raise their children. You understand?
But at least they were loving. I mean, I guess there's parents that don't know how to show that. So when you're not showing love, when you're not talking to your kids like a friend. I mean, how can a parent break away from that? Like, why can't they realise that they're making that mistake? And can you give us a little bit of advice of what they maybe should do?
Well, what I found, because I deal with a lot of youth, what I found that it's sort of, there's a distance, firstly starts with the parents, and then it rubs off with the kids. Don't forget that lack of affection and, when they don't give to their children, it rubs off on the children. So the children become the same, they have that cold feeling towards the parents and even others, you understand? This is why in me as a person, when I see people who I know, I love to, give them salam, I hug them, I kiss them. I do that with practically everyone I know. So if I see you and I've met you once, twice, mate, you get a hug and a kiss on whether you like it or don't. Yeah. So, a lot of people don't show that affection. I don't know. I really don't know why. How could you, lead yourselves and your family that way? Yeah. Again, it's a big problem that we do face. How do we tackle it? It's pretty hard, especially with the parents when they're so used to a particular way. They've been brought up that particular way themselves, and obviously it's like a chain reaction.
You reckon it's got something to do with the leaders in the mosques, the leaders around us that really aren't doing much in talking about this, like aren't going up to the parents and saying, hey, go a little bit easier on your kids, love them, treat them well, don't hit them, don't disrespect them, that whole thing that isn't being spoken about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. A lot of the Islamic leaders and in other faiths of life, look, you see they trying to reach out, but sometimes it works both ways. Now, a lot of the leaders, the gap between the people who practice their religion, okay, and the ones that don't. The ones that don't, they're sort of in the middle. You understand?
They don't go to the mosque. They don't pray. They're distant away from the religious places. So how do we get that gap? The ones that are not religious, and this is where things like youth centres and that come in play, because even children that are not religious, they're quite free to go to these places, and then slowly you can work on them. So the gap
sorry, go ahead. The gap that we have.
The gap that we have between, say, the religious leaders actually getting to these kids, so they can't even get to them because they're not around to be able to see them and talk to them. So they don't go to the Juma. A lot of them, you got to understand, the troubled kids. A lot of them are not religious as well. You understand? I'm not saying they don't believe in God. They're just not practicing their religion.
Or they could be put off because they're forced to kind of learn the Quran by being belted with, straps or whatever they're getting hit with. There is that problem as well, brother. Like, you can't force a child, especially one that you want to show the love of religion, the beauty of religion, by forcing them and being strict on them and hitting them and screaming, yelling at them. They're not going to learn. They're not going to want to learn. They're going to run away from it and say, hey, I want nothing to do with this.
I'll give you my personal experience years and years ago. You've got to understand, when you wanted to go and learn anything about Islam, my parents, obviously coming from Albanians from Macedonia, they knew a little bit about religion, but they knew what they were taught. They couldn't read Arabic, obviously. There was no books in Albanian. So my father and mum, they made a decision, and they used to send us to Turkish Islamic school learning Quran and everything. This is my personal experience. When we got there,
you went to a Turkish place to learn Quran?
Yeah, because there was nowhere else, bro. I'm 48, bro. So you got to understand, you go back 30 something years ago, there was not many places you could learn religion that was close enough to the Albanian tradition, right? Which was obviously Turkish, you understand? So Turkish was the number one place they sent us. So I remember I went a couple of times.
Where did you go?
And then every other, bro, to be honest with you, in Dandenong, Dustin area. I was young. I can't remember. It was at a school. They used to have for private schools. They used to be able to hire the classroom or something like that. And anyway, so my father and that used to drop us off. We used to go in there, and the Turkish teacher would obviously speak Turkish to me. I had no idea how to speak Turkish. Every time, I'm telling him, mate, listen, I don't understand you, Oh, back over there. Like, it was stuff, right? And I'm thinking, wow, my father wants me to come and learn Islam here? There's no way. So my sisters, they could speak a little bit of Turkish, because in our family we've got Turkish people that are married into our families, and my mum can speak Turkish fluently. I can't. I'm just a bit of a dumb ass. I tried to learn. I haven't been able to learn it. It's not a beautiful language, but it's a shame that I haven't. Maybe the teacher had something to do with it.
definitely had a lot to do with it, man.
Yeah. But anyway, it was look, I guess that's what he thought was the right way. My sister kept on going to that, but as soon as my father used to drop it off, I used to say, wag Turkish at 10 years old or so.
At 10 years old.
Yeah, and I had a problem with a lot of things like that, but the teachers didn't really know how to teach that. When you're going back to your question, that it is an issue, and it has always been a problem, that gap between their parents and their children, and understanding what a lot of, don't get me wrong, I was going to say what they need. So they get what they need when it comes to materialistic things, because a lot of parents, especially our parents, they spoil their kids in a lot of ways, but it's not just about what you give them, it's how you give them, physical love and attention, and how can you talk to them. There's a gap, and a big gap, that's very difficult to be able to reach one another. Again, the leaders, Islamic leaders, to be fair on their behalf, the kids aren't around. So, and what they have to do is work out how can they get to these children. If you look at Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he went to people and he seen what problems he had, and he made sure he tried to rectify these problems. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to live 40 years amongst his people without having the prophethood, so that he could understand. This is how I see it. So he could understand the people well enough that when he was given the message, he then knew the people better to be able to express the religion properly to them. That's my understanding of what I feel. Why the prophet was given the prophet rule after 40 years. Other prophets were born with it, like Jesus.
Yeah.
So obviously you've got to know your people, and now I think that it's probably starting to happen a little bit now more than before, where they go and try and reach out to these kids. How do you do it? You've got to find a medium place where they're comfortable. So obviously they're not used to going to the mosque, so you don't have to take them straight to the mosque. So that's where you can start developing or introducing like a youth centre. You know,
what do you guys? How do you guys introduce them? Like, can you tell when a troubled youth comes into your doors, and what's some of the things that you do to kind of make them feel at home? And what are some of the facilities you guys have got there to?
Well, we've got a gym.
Them? Yeah,
we've got a gym where they can train.
Okay.
We've got a restaurant where they can sort of hang out a little bit. There's another place where we've got like a game area. You understand? Where they can watch TV, play games. So you just be as make them as comfortable as you can. And a lot of kids that do come to the youth centre, they become pretty good pretty quickly, because if you've got good people around you, and make them feel comfortable, then we had a really big success with that. When you see kids coming and then stop coming, then you know they're again getting involved with certain types of trouble, such as drugs and so on. So, but how do you eventually get them, brother? Really, the best way is you can get one kid in that you know of and start working with him, and then he's got friends, and then you understand. So that's the way you sort of have to build it, like building a house. You got to start. It doesn't matter you open something, doesn't mean they're going to come. Now, the kids that are coming to you, they're fine. You understand?
Yeah.
But the ones that are not coming, that feel like depression plays a big part as well. And a lot of people don't realise they even suffer depression. And there's a lot of people as well that try and help with depression. I was one of those people until I seen an imam, I can't remember his name, on a Facebook channel, and he started talking about depression. And we've got a few people, members of our family, that suffer a little bit of depression. And I used to treat them a little bit like, wake up, come on, you've got to get strong, come and pray, do this, do that. So I was given all this good advice that I thought it was. When I heard that video, and I thought, wow, I need to pull right back, because sometimes what I think is good is probably doing more damage. So people have to be really careful on how they approach others. And now members in my family that do suffer from depression absolutely love me now, and we get along so good because I just brush things away. I let them open up to me. I don't try and lecture them because I don't know how they feel. So people think they know how they feel. We don't know. If you don't suffer, even if you suffer mild depression, it's different to this serious depression. It's a serious disease. And I think a lot of people make it worse than it is. And then they take medication, which makes it worse again and again and again. So
do you reckon it's as serious? Do you reckon it's as serious as the COVID? When you say it's a serious disease, do you reckon it's as serious as the COVID that's out there?
Oh my God, COVID's nothing compared to that. To be honest with you, COVID's just a flu or cold to me.
Oh, look what they're doing. Look how they're getting everyone depressed. Look what Dan Andrews is doing at the moment to get everyone depressed. Unfortunately,
it's really depressed.
Yeah, because it's the suicide rates are climbing. This Jamal, and we've looked today at how they're treating people not wearing masks and how people are. Yeah, it's looking really messy.
It's really sad.
Yeah, and
also now the police. I'm starting to see that they're now the bodyguards of the government. They're actually going out and taking advantage of people. You understand? Whereas their duty, they serve us. I don't know what part of that police don't understand. They're paid by the people, not by the government. A lot of people don't even understand that the actual police force is an organisation. It's a company. Do you understand that? And then the company that they obviously work for, that's who they represent. So now every time a police officer goes outside the laws of the company, they are automatically considered as an armed civilian now. So you understand that, because it gets difficult. I don't want to get too much because I don't know a lot about this, but a lot of people who know laws, they can explain this really well.
We had a lawyer on before. We should have asked.
Yeah, we should have asked those questions.
These are questions you can ask people, because I'm not qualified in this, but all I'm telling you is at the moment, the police are absolutely, I'm not saying every single one of them, but a large majority of them are acting like little Hitlers. You understand? It's a disgrace, and people need to see this and stop this, because there's people who suffer depression. When you tell them move on, you know, or you be hard towards them, you are absolutely careless in your actions, not knowing what difficulties that person might be suffering. And how dare these police treat everyone the same way? You don't know the person who suffers depression, he cannot stay home. You know, he cannot
He
stay
just lost
home.
his job. He's lost everything. He's worked very different.
Right.
You know, all his life to build, and now it's all gone. And soon he'll be
All
kicked out of
gone.
his rental. And yeah, exactly.
And then he leaves his home, and then he has to face these Gestapo police, because I'm going to try and buy little moustaches. Every time I see police officer, I'm going to put it on his face. You know, the Hitler moustaches on there. You know? So I mean, this is they're behaving this way. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting, and people are treating everyone that their mental status, their mental framework is the same as everyone else's. It's a disgrace how they're treating these people. I mean, you've seen that video with that young 17-year-old girl. She had an exemption from the doctors about a mask. She kept on repeating that to the police officer. He refused to listen to her, that little nasty. He refused to listen to her, grabbed her by the throat. He was practically he was on top of her. That can be considered like rape. How dare you do that to a 17-year-old girl?
Yeah, I could just imagine if that was my daughter, you know, 17 years old, being treated like a, but it's not a police officer that I'm looking at. It's a man that's much bigger than her, grabbing her throat.
How do we know this girl doesn't suffer from depression? How do we know what she's going through? How do you know? You don't even know what sicknesses this person has got, and you treat her like a normal person. How do you know that?
You know, Jamal, I think the worst part was there was another female officer right next to him, not even telling him to stop.
Nothing at all.
Yeah, she was just like in on it, trying to help him a little bit.
She's more to blame than him. How dare her not tell him to let her go? Let her go. She's a girl. She's a 17-year-old girl. She cannot hurt you, you animal. It was a disgusting act by the police, and then mainstream media, you know, apparently going on and saying the girl was like this. There's footage of how the girl was. She doesn't need this police officer coming up to her. If she told him that I've got an exception, move on, idiot, because you don't know what she suffers. Depression is a serious problem we face in this country. Now, because so many people are scared from a flu-like virus that they've named now COVID-19, and they're worried about themselves and not others, they need to really check about their own, morals and how they've lost their respect for life in general. It's a disgusting habit that people have taken now.
Jamal, I think the Prime Dan Andrews keeps coming out and keeps repeating the same thing, that more than 80% of these people that pass away are from aged care homes.
Yeah, from aged care.
So
absolutely. Now you've got to have a look at what's going on. You know, now why are we now concentrating so hard on this virus? We're trying so hard to make the numbers go up, trying so hard to convince people, making commercials with these. If you've seen these commercials about people that have had COVID,
it looks like
disgustingly obvious that these are definitely paid actors. Normal people do not talk in that manner. They are absolutely scripted. If people can't see that, they really need
blonde
to understand.
Hair, blue eyes. Yeah.
Brother,
Yeah.
they and the way you see it now, whether they had COVID or not, only God knows. But when you see that, they definitely a script. Now, if someone's got COVID, you let them talk freely, like I'm doing with you guys now. You understand? You let them not talk the way. I don't know if you've seen the commercials. Watch them, and you can see clearly. Now, again, to the listeners, I'm not saying that these people didn't have COVID. All I'm saying is they've been rehearsed to say a particular thing. You know, you can tell it's a scripted thing that they're talking about, and it's not good.
I think Jamal, a lot of the Muslim viewers, the reason why they're taking this a little bit more serious than most. We had Bashar Houli come on TV. He was all over the paper. You know, he had this heartfelt message that he was kind of bringing across about his mum being, affected by the COVID. Our prayers are with her. We just heard that she's better now. She's kind of, she's fought that virus off, alhamdulillah. But do you think Bashar's done the right thing by coming on a media platform and not leading by example? Because I believe AFL football players, man, they're in contact with each other from different states every single day. They're making $400,000 to $500,000 a year while everyone else is nearly bankrupt. And he's using religion as a platform. So, Go
back to Bashar. We go back to Bashar. I know Bashar. I've had the pleasure of meeting him a few times. Alhamdulillah. An amazing gentleman.
Definitely. Two-time premiership Muslim football player. We've never had anything like that ever. And he also, the stuff he does for the youth as well, like how he draws them in from the streets and gets them to play football.
Yeah,
great job. Yeah. Great job. I have a lot of respect for Bashar, and hopefully we'll be able to get him on the show.
Yeah.
I've met Bashar at a wedding. I've met Bashar as well, alhamdulillah, when we were in Malaysia. He was with his family. And he's a lovely person, a genuine person. Now, no doubt about it that he's definitely suffered with his family, obviously, through these sicknesses. He can only express what he's been told. You understand?
But do you think it's also got to do with emotion? Do you think because just imagine if our parents were in the same boat, like it's an emotional moment.
I reckon there's more to it. I reckon he was asked to do it. And he probably thought with his emotions at that time, I don't know, Bashar would know better. If he listens to this, I'm not trying to say exactly what happened, but I believe that he would have been approached because they would have known definitely something going on in his family, and he would have accepted it at that time through emotions, through so and so. And a lot of people actually believe what they're being told. All I'm saying is that if you're not well, now I'm not sure if Bashar's mum wasn't well, if there was another illness, another sickness as well. If you're not well and you get hit with the flu or SARS-like, COVID-like, coronavirus, you will find it very difficult to recover from this. You understand? But that's just normal. That happened the same last year, the year before, and the year before. What I'm saying is, if you took COVID out of the picture and Bashar's mum went in hospital, we wouldn't be talking about the flu. We would be just saying, alhamdulillah, she's sick or whatever. It'd be talking about her, inshallah, getting, becoming better, recovering and so on. So the whole talk with Bashar was concentrating on COVID. That's what was wrong. You understand?
Yeah.
Because we never concentrated on the flu years before this.
Well, he kept mentioning as a Muslim, you need to do the right thing and stay home, stay safe, follow the rules. That was kind of his message.
A lot of our leaders are saying this, yeah? A lot of our leaders, it's disgraceful. If you're not sure, please do the research and find out what's happening. We cannot, as Muslims or religious leaders, destroy the lives of millions, hundreds of millions of people just because we want to save a few thousand. Okay? We cannot do that. We have to prepare for such a virus. I understand that the government has to prepare themselves. I believe there's a different agenda. We're not going to get in there, but let them prepare. Fine. Let's quarantine the sick. No problem whatsoever. Why would you, never before you wanted to test me for a virus. Why suddenly they want to test everyone? Why? And 99.97% of people survive from this virus.
Exactly.
And they want to inject the vaccine. Vaccine? Why would I want to get a vaccine when they tell me, according to them, that if I don't feel well and I want to get myself tested, go and get yourself tested. Then I ask them, excuse me, what medication do you get? Oh, no, just go home, self-isolate and quarantine. What do you mean self-isolate and quarantine? There's nothing you know. The time will cure you. But then what the hell do I need a vaccine for?
Yeah, exactly.
I guess when the vaccines come out, the way they're probably going to promote it is that the whole world needs to take this vaccine for it to work. And that's Bill Gates.
Making money for him. Do you know how much money he was worth when he stepped down from Microsoft? He was worth $54 billion. He's invested over $35 billion and counting. He is now estimated to be worth over $104 billion. What a lovely gentleman. Yeah. He doubled his income because he cares for the world. Let's ask some of the Africans he cares.
He's also had his friend Warren Buffett hand him over $30 billion for his cause of making vaccines and jabbing it in the poor and the sick in Africa. Like, this is why I see it. The poor and the sick in Africa are starving. That's why they're poor and sick, and that's why they've got a lot of those diseases. Feed them, give them water. You've got billions of dollars to do that with. Don't look for vaccines to just jab them in the arm when they've got an empty stomach.
Exactly. But India is another huge problem. You understand? They're hitting these markets and really making money out of them. They do not. I'm telling you, the government pays for them to do this. They don't do this for free. I don't know what people are missing or not reading the right information. Facts speak for themselves. People need to do the research. People as religious people, Muslim leaders, people out there, they just have to open, go on the YouTube, go on Google, and you can find these out, fact after fact after fact. And it's a big, big push for vaccines. People don't even realise what vaccines have got in them. People don't realise what damage.
Jamal, there's a lot of viewers that might disagree with you. They'll say that, okay, hold on, are you more intelligent than the doctors that have been studying 8 to 10 years, that have got all these, years and years of diplomas?
With doctors talking about other doctors that are creating biological weapons? Because I can't do it because I'm not smart enough. Which smart people are these people talking about? Who are we supposed to try? Because I don't create nuclear bombs. I've got no idea how to do one, bro. Do you?
No
so idea at all. Because they're smart, they can't be evil. The people who do the most evil in the world are actually the smart ones, because those stupid dumbasses don't know how to do those sort of things because we're not smart enough to do it. So who do you trust? The pharmaceutical doctors that work under the pharmaceutical companies? You understand? Exactly. Do they know what ingredients do they have? Aborted fetuses is in one of the ingredients. You look at the video that Bill Gates on YouTube and he says, should we do research? They said, maybe we should. Can you imagine Mercedes-Benz says that? Mercedes-Benz, should we do research and testing on our cars? Of course they do testing and research on their cars. He goes, maybe we should do or shouldn't, we get genetically modified organisms and we shove them right into the kids' arms. He says it with a pleasure. Do people not see that?
Brother, I think the saddest bit is, look, I didn't get my kids vaccinated as soon as they were born. I was just looking at them, and my wife did a lot of research in what's in these vaccines, and, we asked the doctors because they kept pushing it on us, especially in the first time. They can tell that you're newbies. And they kept pushing on the vaccine, take it, you have to take, well, what's in it? And they go blank. What's the ingredients? What's this ingredient? What's that ingredient? They can't say nothing.
The parents are teaching the doctors what's in there. Do you know that? Parents know more than the doctors on the ingredients of vaccines.
Well, think about it. A kid's had no food in his stomach. Sorry for cutting you off, Jamal, but a child's had absolutely nothing to drink from its mum, okay, especially if it's not formulated, if it's natural and breastfed. So you're hitting him up with a huge vitamin K injection into this empty stomach, and then you're hitting him up with this huge injection of hepatitis C injection into their stomach, into their bloodstream, into their veins. Yeah.
Look, it's sad, and a lot of people don't know and don't do the research. Now, that's a beautiful story, alhamdulillah, that you're saying. But you know what's so good about all that? You made that choice, okay? I might be an anti-vaxxer. Okay, I'm an anti-vaxxer. Oh, okay, what's the big deal? If you want to vaccinate your children and you've done the research, the vaccination.
But Jamal, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, bro. If I've got an injection in front of me, and I read up, like you said, we need to research. So if I research the ingredients of this, and I've done hundreds of thousands of tests, it works, it's good for me. There's nothing bad in there. There's no side effects. There's no harmful ingredients in there. Then I'll jab that in, bro. I'm not an anti-vax. I'll throw that in tomorrow.
The companies are liable if they inject you, the pharmaceuticals, but they're not. They've been given immunity by the government from America in 1987, or anyway, a date they were given immunity, and they don't have to have no liability whatsoever. Okay, and I'll give you the section. I've got it right here. It's the HR 3545 Act in 1987 was pushed and sponsored by Democrat William Herbert Gray. An amendment was made to the Act, a clear treason against the people of the US and the world, protecting the pharmaceutical companies over its people. Just this alone should have people at least questioning how dare the government, who's supposed to be protecting the people, allow an industry, a companies, pharmaceutical companies and others who are giving orders that we must take vaccines and then do not be liable if anything goes wrong. So if I have a problem and I want to sue a particular company, pharmaceutical company, because of the injection of the vaccine they gave me, which has happened in America alone, I think it's gone to $5 billion have been paid out to people. And this is the people who can take them to court. What about the ones that can't? Now, if I want to take them to court, I can't. I will take the government, and the government pays out. And guess who pays that? The people. So the pharmaceutical company.
They win-win. They win-win 100%. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so how can politicians allow this? You know why? Because they get pumped up with so much money by these elites to go and push for their agenda. Now, another question. If you get vaccinated, good luck to you. That's your choice. That's your prerogative. Now, if you get vaccinated and your children get vaccinated, how dare you try and force that onto me? Are you trying to tell me that your vaccination doesn't work? If you're vaccinated, then why are you so worried about me that's not? You're protected, so go away. Why are you so worried about it? You understand?
We had a story here in the north. Unfortunately, one of the younger sisters got injected from the meningococcal vaccination, but she got meningococcal, I think, about a month or 2 months later and passed away. So, you know, you're right. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense at all.
Now, these parents that agree with it, they've done their research, and good on you. Good on you. I've got no problem with you. If you want to have a talk and a debate with me, I'm open for it. If you choose to go and vaccinate, you go for it. That's your prerogative. That's your choice. Now, if you think that protects you, why are you so worried and pushing for kids that are not vaccinated to be vaccinated when your child's already protected?
I think, Jamal, they're in their comfort zone. Most of these people that, that
they just do what they're told, bro.
Exactly, do what they're told. And the issue here is again, it's a problem because as Muslims, we need to research what is in everything we eat. And when you look at some of these vaccines, they are not halal, man. You know, you can cut an animal here. There's some Quranic verses that, again, people aren't too, there's back and forth with this, that, you know, you can cut an animal that that isn't halal in Australia and eat it. But when you're putting animals, when you're putting blood, when you're putting human things into these vaccines, then...
I read for the next 2 days what's in the vaccines, or certain vaccines, my brother. I'm telling you, people need to do the research. How can it be halal? You tell me. How can they say we don't use, there's a product, like animal product we put in there that's halal for the Muslims. What? Hang on. You started this from... aborted fetuses, from abortion. Do you know how much abortion? Do people know how much? What you want to know? A pandemic. Now, I don't know if I spoke about this last time. I apologise if I repeat myself, but
no, you didn't. I've watched you talk about this on Facebook. It's very interesting. So go ahead.
33 million to 40 million children every year get aborted in Australia. Abortion can happen at 28 weeks. I think in New Zealand it can happen just before the child is born. Now, that is 90 to 100 plus thousand every single day. Do we have a pandemic here? 100%. But people refuse to talk about this real problem we face. How dare we, because these children are faceless to us, they're nameless to us, we think that they don't have a soul. How disgusting that is, and our leaders around the world allowing this to happen, and then you have the audacity to create vaccines from that. That to me,
and then pop them in your arm.
Yeah,
disgusting. Okay, I don't care who you are, what leader you are. You want to talk with me about it? Get prepared. I'll debate you anytime. And you know what? I acknowledge that I'm a numbnut. I'm not educated, but when it comes to talking about things that worry me, I make sure I educate myself. And it's my choice, my body, my family's body, and you will not put anything in my body or my family's body that I refuse to do. Now, if you want to do it, you go right ahead, but don't force others. And if people can't wake up, we are in serious trouble, and Australia is in serious trouble. I believe Victoria's testing ground. These people are pushing an agenda that's clear, that's obvious, and it's not about a pandemic. There's something more than this meets the eye.
100%, Jamal.
100%.
Jamal,
Well said.
we love you so much, brother.
Definitely.
Very well said. Thanks for appearing on the Aydin show. It's the second time now, and hopefully you won't be the last, man.
No worries. Hopefully we talk soon. I'll let you go. Love you all. People, please watch this show, promote it, and really, really share as much as you can, because we need people like this to help us get through these difficult times. Thanks, boys. Love you.
Thank you for your
God
kind
bless
words.
everyone.
Thank you.
See you, Jamal.
Have a good night.
See you later, mate. That was Jamal Abazi, guys. He's got a lot of great points that
100%.
he's discussing, 100%. And yes, look, to obviously help us here at the Aydin Show to kind of get our message out there, this show is about, teaching people. So we're going to have different scenarios, different opinions. It's not
different
just
topics,
a one opinion. It's not about my opinion. It's about the people, you viewers that are watching us today. So please like the page on Facebook, and also share this on your newsfeed. That'll help us a lot. We're going to go to a break.
We'll be back shortly.
We've got Ver Medin by Ümit Timur.
Kalbimi alıp vermedin, geri vermedin, geri vermedin. Kalbimi alıp gelmedin, geri gelmedin, geri gelmedin. Kalbimi alıp vermedin, geri vermedin, geri vermedin. Kalbimi alıp gelmedin, geri gelmedin, geri gelmedin. Kafamı kaldı, ben de saçmaladım. Yine seni görünce ne akıl bıraktı ne de bir düşünce. Suç kimde? O gözler, o kaşlar, bal gibi dudaklı. Yetesin irizi, kalbim duracak şimdi. Doktor yazma reçete, benim ilaçım sende. Koşarım peşinden, sonunu bilmesem de. Yalvarsam fayda etmez deme sakın bana. Aşıklar bu nasıl hep çekmek mi zorunda? Haydi bana gel, haydi benim ol. Oscar ödülü gelsin artık, yoksa bitmez senin bu rol. Kalbimi alıp vermedin, geri vermedin, geri vermedin. Kalbimi alıp gelmedin, geri gelmedin, geri gelmedin. Geri vermedin, geri vermedin. Geri gelmedin, geri gelmedin.
Hadi gel, hadi gel, hadi gel. Hadi gel bana, gel bana gel. Hadi gel, hadi gel, hadi gel. Hadi gel bana, gel bana gel. On s'est dit toi et moi jusqu'à la mort. Et si tu me trahis, c'est bye bye bye. Ces jaloux, ils voulaient tous ma mort. Dégagez, c'est fini, bye bye bye. Y'a pas d'amour chez nous, on veut mailler. Vida loc, vida loc, vida loca. Elle est belle, elle est folle, je veux la marier. C'est ma loc, c'est ma loc, c'est ma loca.
Yalvarsam fayda etmez deme sakın bana. Aşıklar bu nasıl hep çekmek mi zorunda? Haydi bana gel, haydi benim ol. Oscar ödülü gelsin artık, yoksa bitmez senin bu rol. Kalbimi alıp vermedin, geri vermedin, geri vermedin. Kalbimi alıp gelmedin, geri gelmedin, geri gelmedin.
Kalbimi çalıp vermedin, geri vermedin, geri vermedin. Çekip gittin, gelmedin, geri gelmedin, geri gelmedin.
Neler çektim ah bir bilsen, bilsen. Kalbimi alıp gelmedin, geri gelmedin, geri gelmedin. Kalbimi alıp vermedin, geri, geri, geri vermedin. Yalvarsam fayda etmez deme sakın bana. Aşıklar bu nasıl hep çekmek mi zorunda? Haydi bana gel, haydi benim ol. Oscar ödülü gelsin artık, yoksa bitmez senin bu rol. Kalbimi alıp vermedin, geri vermedin, geri vermedin. Kalbimi alıp gelmedin, geri gelmedin, geri gelmedin.
Kalbimi çalıp vermedin, geri vermedin, geri vermedin. Çekip gittin, gelmedin.
Geri gelmedin, geri gelmedin.
I forgot the microphone.
We're
We're back
We forgot the
live.
microphones.
That's right. We're back live on the Aydin Show.
Back live.
That's right. It's 10:07, and our next guest is someone that I love dearly, Paul from Sydney, a brother that just recently became a Muslim. He wanted to talk to us and discuss a few things about some of the things that these guys are doing up there for the youth. They've got a lot of people watching would probably know of the One Path in Sydney. He's associated with those most of those brothers up there. So let's give him a call and have a bit of a discussion.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum salam. Paul, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks, brother.
That's good. That's good. What are you up to? What are you doing?
No, I've committed to go out with these blokes for a late feed to this restaurant we go to, but tonight they're sort of donating half their money to the Lebanon thing, so I can't cancel.
No, that's okay.
Not,
Look,
I never put the bounce on you, but just this one night,
That's right. We won't take too much of your time then, Paul. Yeah. Look, let's get straight into it.
No.
Yeah. That's all right. Look, what's some of the things you guys have been doing in Sydney? You've been involved, I think, with some of the blokes up there that are with that are part of One Path. Can you run us a little bit through what you guys do up there?
Well, it's not so much so we're not recording yet, are we?
We are recording. We're live, man.
We are live.
We are live.
Okay, terribly sorry. So basically what it is, sure. I'm not involved with One Path myself, but my dear brother, Steve Bliz, has been with One Path for many years, and him together with another number of other prominent figures in the Muslim community, like our brother Muhammad Hoblos. They put together videos and TV shows and interviews, for the benefit mainly, I think, of Muslim youth, which is obviously a great idea, and they highlight where people might be going a little bit off the rails in terms of their faith, and teaches them to respect their parents and their friends and their teachers, and I think it's just beautiful. I think, and I'm sure many of your listeners and your viewers, no matter what states they're in, they would have seen the great work that One Path does.
We see it all the time. Definitely. Some of their YouTube videos I follow very strongly. They've got some really cool commercial. Well, that look like movies, man. I think Steve's a bit of an actor now up there, isn't he?
Yep. Yeah. They actually released a movie a couple of years ago called Last Chance. Or it might have been back in 2016. Time flies. Mm-hmm. But Steve's known for fundraising as a comedian. He's currently involved with a company called Hope and Care, which is an NDIS company, and doing great work.
Paul, how did you meet them? Tell us a little about yourself. Firstly, how old are you, roughly?
Okay, so I'm not a young man. I'm just over 60.
Okay.
And
you sound very young, doesn't he? Yeah, man, you got a radio voice, man. Maybe we're going to get you up on here.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. So I was actually born in Victoria, and my father travelled around a lot with his job. So we relocated back to Sydney, where Mum was born in the early 1960s, and I've been here ever since. And I was actually baptised a Catholic, pretty strong with my faith with regards to that until probably halfway through high school.
What happened?
And then my grandmother passed away, and wrongly I blamed religion for that. Blame God for that. I maintained from the age of, say, 15 until my 50s the fact that I was a Catholic, but then I basically started describing myself as just a Christian because I believe it doesn't matter, or I used to believe, no matter what faith you were, if you're an atheist, if you're a good person, you were like Christ, because Christ was a good person. Okay. So obviously my views have shifted slightly, or rather, not slightly, but in a big way in the last 2 years.
How did you meet some of these guys? How did you meet Steve and some of the boys up that way?
Well,
how did you encounter them for the first time?
Sure. Okay. So everybody says that Facebook is a bad thing and social media is a bad thing, or a lot of people do, but I'm certainly not that way inclined. I'd say I'm a regular Facebook user. I've probably got about 280 Facebook friends, of which probably 270 of them are Muslims. And basically all of the good people, well-known or not well-known, that I know these days, including your good self, I met through Facebook.
Okay. Okay,
And
so you've just been you've been adding people, these 270 friends that you had, or
yeah, just adding them one by one. You know, if someone sort of makes a virtuous kind of comment, or they find that they think that something that I've done is good, they might add me. But it's basically the game changer was very early on when I did become friends with Steve the Blizz, because he's so well known and so well respected and so popular. And I just came across one of my earlier Muslim friends had a post from Steve on there. It was actually about the 2016, I think, Eid Festival at Liverpool, which Steve was involved with. So I got interested and started chatting with him online that way.
Wow! And so, Paul, you're not a Christian anymore. Is that correct?
No,
Okay,
I reverted.
Yep.
Okay, so probably not long after I met Steve, I started saying to people, and through no cajoling or encouragement or anything like that by anybody else, or nobody pushed me, I started saying, and even saying online, I started saying I was baptised a Catholic, I consider myself a Christian, but I follow Islam. And I probably said that from about 2018 until May the 19th this year, when I accepted Islam.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And what was those moments like when you became a Muslim?
Okay, so what it was, probably I said to, when I first met Steve in person about 2 years ago, I said to him, look, I believe in Islam, but I don't know what's going to change the game for me to make my shahada. But I actually met up with another friend I initially met through Steve and another good mate, Osman Karolia. I met up with a guy called Jihad Scuff at the Eid Festival in 2018 that I went to, and he was basically the person, just a simple conversation with him and his wife. And again, nobody trying to push me or persuade me, but the difference in the conversation with them as compared to anybody else was, so why do you believe so strongly in Christianity? And a lot of the questions they asked about, like, how can the Son of God be God, and all these questions about the Holy Trinity, and my answer was the same. The answer was because, or blind faith. Whereas, Jihad pointed out to me that the Quran, like 1400 years of no changes in this beautiful book, and the teachings and the words of the Prophet Muhammad, and so that unlocked the door. But I still thought that I wasn't quite ready and wasn't quite worthy to accept Islam, and until that very great night a couple of months ago.
Wow, that's amazing, Paul.
Yeah, amazing story.
Really, really inspirational, brother.
Yeah, 100%.
Look, I guess Osman, the gentleman that you're talking about, he's involved a lot with helping the poor people around the world, if I'm not mistaken. What's he doing up there?
Osman Karolia is an amazing man. He's actually South African born, but came to Australia with his family at an early age. And his job is he was head of senior school studies at a major Islamic college in Sydney called Unity Grammar, but he's now got a position there. The exact title, I'm just not 100% sure, if you'll forgive me for not knowing it. But he spends a lot of it. Basically, his whole school life, I'd say now, is just geared around the kids at the school being better Muslims, being better connected, not going through their life, their school life, as he puts it, with their being in a bubble. So basically, him and the school, together with the Great Oz Relief Charity, they organise overseas missions to countries like Cambodia. Okay. And basically, some of these kids have not actually been to the airport when these trips have commenced. And these kids are like 18. They're not even in Year 12. They're actually usually 19 years old because they've actually left school. So they're the alumni. And it's the first time they've ever been outside their parents' care, even overnight.
Wow.
So it's a big sea change for them. But that's Osman. He's doing work like that. He does work with the Fred Hollows Foundation. He does work with Bill Cruz. And he spends a lot of time actually encouraging relations between religions, because although he's a devout Muslim, he does respect other religions and encourages that interaction. And Unity Grammar, apart from this year with COVID, they always have iftar. Iftar is inviting prominent figures and school kids from other religions to dine with them.
Wow.
Great stuff.
Paul, it sounds like you're around some amazing people there in Sydney,
100%.
man. You're very
Alhamdulillah.
blessed, I guess.
I'm very, very lucky. I was actually talking to Jihad Scuff, the guy who basically changed my mind about everything quite recently, and he said, you're surrounded by some terrific people, and I really believe that I am. The likes of Steve and Osman and many, many others, and the many people that I've met haven't had the good fortune to meet you in person yet, Ahmed, but that's only because of what's been going on with COVID. As you know, I was hoping to get down there a couple of months ago, but it didn't happen. But if we've got a couple of minutes, I wouldn't mind mentioning exactly how my reversion came about.
Definitely. That's something I want to listen to.
Yeah. Thanks. So and that's Mustafa, is it with you, is it?
Mustafa Kirkan, yeah, that's right. He does a lot of the back end stuff for the Aydin show.
Yeah, you do a great job, and you're a great friend to me, but I wasn't sure, and I did want to address you both correctly.
Yeah.
So, Ahmed, I'm pretty sure that I told you a couple of months ago a good friend of mine had life-saving surgery.
Yes.
So I spent a lot of time off work visiting him in hospital, and also I thought it was a good time to review my own situation because he's a much younger person than me, and I thought, well, you're on the wrong side of 60, Paul, so you should do something. So I was thinking about what I was going to do, and we've mentioned Steve the Blizz's name numerous times, and I know you're aware of this, that I actually do research for his website, stevethebliz.com.
Yes.
And one of the stories that we kind of postponed because of COVID was one about the well-known Adelaide Muslim figure Ahmed Bassel, who's involved with the Islamic Association over there. Yep. And I actually called him up because I interviewed him 3 months before for Steve.
He's from Preston Mosque. Sorry for cutting you off, Paul.
Sorry?
Is he from Preston Mosque?
No. Preston Mosque was another story that
Okay.
Steve did, and I interviewed a couple of the guys in charge down there, beautiful men at that mosque.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I actually rang Ahmed up about the story, and after I'd been talking to him for 20 minutes, he said, Paul, you've said to me tonight, and when we've texted and spoken in the past, that you believe you're not ready and you're not good enough to be a Muslim. And I said, yeah, that's honestly how I feel, because I'm 60 and not proud of everything that I've done in my life, and I just think I need more time. But I did say to him, I'm a little bit worried that no one's ever tried to force me, but maybe people are thinking that I'm a time waster and don't really mean it. So he said, let's do a little experiment. So he said the Shahada in English, and then he said it in Arabic, and he got me to repeat it. And he said, this isn't a trick. Now, you've just accepted Islam. How do you feel? And I said, I'm prepared for that acceptance. And I got goosebumps. I just felt numb. It was just the most amazing and most beautiful feeling of my whole life.
Oh, wow. That is a beautiful, emotional story.
Yeah.
We wish you all the best, Paul.
Wish you all the best.
Hopefully God blesses you and protects you from any harm, and allows you to, hopefully one day we get to see each other here in Victoria, but also in heaven.
Yeah, 100%.
100%, Mustafa and Ahmed. And if we've got a couple of minutes, I'd like to talk about my association with you, Ahmed, and how that came about.
Definitely. We've got. I think you've got 9 minutes. You need to be somewhere at 10:30, so
yeah.
We could talk as long as you like.
Yeah. So basically, what it was, brother, as you remember, brothers, earlier in the conversation, I was talking about the goods and the bads of social media, and as far as I'm concerned, they're nearly all good. And I just saw through a mutual friend one of your early posts, and what was prior to you started doing the Aydin show, it was just basically, I know you and your good wife Betul, you're very much into healthy living, and it was you're just talking about a diet that you're going on at the time, and I just thought, this guy seems like a good guy and a beautiful Muslim brother, so I just sent her a friend request, and we communicated a bit more, and then I found out about all the great work you're doing for the young people down there. You're a big supporter of National Anti-Bullying Day, and since then I've seen you grow as a person through your involvement with this wonderful podcast that the two of you put together, and I'm also really happy to see you doing so well with your own business, Kaiser Homes, and I just wish you every success with that as well, mate.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. And look, I appreciate that, God brought someone like yourself in front of me so that we could be friends. You are a really great friend, even though you're in Sydney. It doesn't mean anything to me because I feel like you're close by every time we talk.
Can I make a point about, and thanks so much for that, Ahmed. I just want to make a point about all the Muslims that I know. I'd say probably I've got a bucket list of all the Muslim friends that I know in Australia, which is probably over 250, but I meet them all. So one by one, and I'm the one who's got to hurry up with the bucket list because I'm older than nearly all of you guys. And it's a beautiful experience every time I do this, but it doesn't matter sort of how important they are or how busy they are. They always find time, and doors have been opened to me even through my involvement as Steve's researcher. Like to be able to speak to the guy that founded Tenfold, which is a magnificent organisation, the guys that founded Project Quran, the gentleman who are bringing the mosque that you mentioned before, Preston Mosque, back to its amazing former past.
I think he's also the president of the Islamic Museum here in Melbourne.
Absolutely, no, they're just fantastic men, and you know, like when I was a Catholic, if I'd have even wanted to say hello to the Bishop in Sydney, it probably would have been a phone call, wait a month and get nothing. And here I'm speaking to people who are just right at the top of the tree. And I know, you know, rank is nothing in Islam. Like, you know, I consider all my Muslim brothers and sisters to be of equal rank. But these people, they are just so respectful, and they give me their time just the same way you're giving it to me tonight.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thanks for coming on the show, brother. We will definitely stay in touch and speak hopefully again sometime soon.
As soon as COVID's over, brother, I'll be down there on the first flight.
Definitely.
Done. And I'm going to have a barbecue for you, man. We're going to have a nice big feast, hopefully together.
Yeah.
I'll hold you up. I'll hold you to that, and lovely to speak to both of you, Ahmed, and also brother.
Yeah, man. We've got Levin next to me. No problem.
Yeah, that's all right.
No problem, John. Thanks
for coming on.
Have a good one, bro. Okay, guys, that was a very beautiful story by
definitely
John.
Yeah, amazing story, and it's good to see that, you know. So
yeah, definitely.
It's good to see that, 100%.
Definitely. We know the guys at One Path in Sydney, they do a great job, and some of the people that John's very lucky to be around, you know, Project Quran, they've just sent us 10 Qurans to give away for free.
Amazing.
To anyone that really wants it, or if you want to give it as a gift to anyone, it's very easy to go on projectquran.com. You pay the shipping. The Quran costs you pretty much nothing the first time, but really great advantage to get on there and kind of give a donation to them to help them do a great job. I've got that gift, and it's something so pretty and beautiful that when you open it up,
it's amazing.
It teaches you a lot of things of pretty much, there's du'as there, how to pray and all the rest of that sort of stuff. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to go to one last song, and we've got one more guest coming on, Mustafa, and we're going to call it a night. It is pretty late, so let's have a quick break. We'll put Sen Olsan Bari. This is a very good track. I hope you guys enjoy it.
We are on now, back again.
Yes, we are, guys, and we'll just recap for tonight. Look, I think we'll call Mustafa tomorrow. It's getting pretty late, 10:30.
Yeah, it is getting pretty late now.
But I think we've had a pretty good episode for a first actual episode. We had a couple of test runs before this to kind of get the cameras and stuff working. And now we had some very exciting
a bit more
guests.
Sharper.
Yeah, we've had some very exciting guests come on, and hopefully there'll be plenty more to come from now on. Lev, what do you reckon?
It's been great, definitely. Yeah, like I said, guys, give us a comment. Drop us a comment, give us a like, you know, and let us know how it's gone. So
definitely, we're open to feedback.
Yeah, let us know.
We like to do whatever we can to, you know, accommodate for our viewers. And if there's things that you guys want us to discuss, or people that you like us to call, we've had a few comments saying get Bashar Huli on. Hopefully that might happen. We'll see what happens in the future. But yeah, guys, look, it's been great. Hopefully we'll do this again sometime soon. But if you guys can support us by pressing the like button on Facebook. We've also got some episodes that we've done previously before this live one. We've had some very interesting people come on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We're on episode 13 on the Aydin Show on YouTube, so go out and check all that out. Some of the guests that have appeared, like Baris Nezif, has a very nice story.
The one-on-one interviews. Definitely.
You know, he talks about saving a little child from the back of the seat of a car. You know, there was and we've done a very good job to kind of put in some of the news news that was portraying all that. So jump on there, subscribe, like our show, share this, and hopefully, guys, we will see you again soon. But
thanks for joining in. Thanks for tuning in, guys,
and
definitely see you soon.
Have a great night,
Have
guys.
a good night.
See you
Speak
later.
to you soon.
Bye bye.